2, 1. We are live. Brother Marcus, I'll yield the floor to you to open up.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of ClickBaity, Political Thirst Track. I am one of your two hosts tonight, Marcus Farrell, all the way live from Hateville, Georgia, looking over the beautiful Atlanta airport as we speak, Hartsville International. You've gotten lost there. You've eaten there. If you're going anywhere in America, you have been to our airport. And just always remember, Atlanta is a suburb of Hateville. I am joined live by my homeboy, my friend, my pastor from this weekend, who gave an amazing sermon. And I pray that you guys start watching his sermons on Sundays. He makes it relevant to our world. Even if you're not a Christian, you can get a message out of everything he says. I'm joined by Ben Dixon. Ben, how are you, my brother?
Man, I am doing good, broadcasting live from Boston, Massachusetts, and I am just happy to be with the brethren. And shout out to Mundell. No, is not with us tonight, but he's not with us for good cause. He is celebrating his anniversary. So shout out to him and his first lady. And from my wife as well. She wanted to send a happy anniversary to Brother Marcus and his wife. So shout out, not Marcus. Marcus, I done married you off, Marcus.
I did.
Mundell. Brother Mundell and his wife, Mayor Mundell. So he's not with us tonight, but it's for a good cause. So we're going to hold it down for the family. Marcus, it has, and thank you for your kind words about Sunday, man. Listen, I'm just trying to do what the Lord's called me to do, and most important to me, I do appreciate that so many people who aren't even Christian really they tune in and they listen and they receive a word. And you know, it's like I used to tell some friends back there, you keep hanging out with me, you're gonna end up getting saved. You know, you're gonna end up you're gonna start finding that Jesus ain't as bad as MAGA Christians and Christian nationalism actually make them out to be. So that said, but you know, just invite people to keep on coming out, so keep doing the work, man. What's going on in your world though, Marcus? I know you are holding it down. You're still in, and you just said you're still right there by the airport in one of those hotels. I know that airport well.
Yeah. I live in a hotel now, right? And I'm not making any money nightly for it, so therefore I'm. I live in a hotel and I'm not a
Oh, he's here. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Gang. We did.
Our guy told us happy anniversary, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, bros. Thank you.
Hey, man. Good to see you, man. That's what a pleasant surprise. The whole gang is here.
That's a blessing.
Yeah. You know, listen, we told ClickBaity we were being ClickBaity, so I'm back, and my wife is sacrificing her anniversary, so you know I'm gonna have to pay for that later.
Oh no, bro! I was about to say we cool with you not being on tonight, bro. We don't need none of that.
We need you in good standing in your household. That's what we need.
I'm in good standing, but what about y'all? That's what I'm talking about. I'm blaming y'all.
Look, man. I try to keep my head above water.
He says that right after I give away where I live, right?
Yeah, I'm blaming both of y'all.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro.
No, we do good. Hey, man, I don't know if you heard, but first, my wife wanted to send congratulations and a happy anniversary to you and your wife, man. So from our house to yours, happy anniversary, man. We love you, brother.
Thank y'all, man. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, Mayor Mundell, how you doing? I was just commenting on it. I think you might have heard it. I was just commenting on, like, this Sunday, I managed to get, a couple of hours listening to Pastor Ben do his pastor thing on, and like, let me tell you something. When I felt rejuvenated, like, and I felt like, because here's the thing about me in church. I'm gonna say this blatantly. I think I said this before. I don't rock with the church no more. And the reason why,
it's fair.
No. Here's the reason why. I'm a kid that was raised as a teenager in the 90s, right? And as a young black man in the 2000s. And during that time period, Ben, you can attest to this, it was the pull your pants up period. Yep. All you got to do is pull up your pants and everything's going to be all right. You can't get a job because you look like, instead of bringing us in, it was a period of time where it was like, nah, bro, I'm going to dress like this. And even your little book you got there says that I can come as I am.
That's right. Right.
So since then, right, since that point, and by the way, Pastor A.J. Richardson, Bishop of the AMB Church. Please do me a favor. The man who baptized me, please do me a favor. I am not talking about you. You taught me this lesson. But I am saying that the guy who replaced you, he started doing that. And my problem has been is this elitism that became that came in the not even late 80s, in the late 90s, early 2000s, when black churches started getting mainstream, right?
That's right. That's right.
So I now prefer my messages. I go to church all the time. I don't leave my house no more. And the awesome part about it is I get to pick and choose. I get to pick and choose where my lessons come from. I get to know 3 days in advance what the pastor talking about, or I get to learn right there on the spot. And if I ain't feeling it, click.
That's right.
So I was just saying, though, I wanted to give brother Ben his props, man. He gave an amazing sermon Sunday, and it was my first time tuning in. I didn't realize how much of a skill set my guy really got. Like, he got that. He got that.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. So I also think I catch Ben only on like social media aspects, like his message. But I think for me, Marcus, and I think the problem that you had, somebody who went to divinity school at a Southern Baptist, Wake Forest Baptist, I think for me, what I learned at divinity school was most people come to divinity school and lose their religion. What you're really losing is your grandparents' religion and finding your own. And I think what happened was we in the black church forgot that the building and the guy in the pulpit ain't the church. Not in what Jesus, not in the traditional sense. The work of the church has never been what happens in those walls. And if you think about the life of Jesus Christ, who we say we follow, who was an extremely radical person, probably the most leftist leader that you can name, and that's not the boo-boo on anybody else's religion. But if you think about what Jesus said and what he died doing, it was about poor others and those unlike you and the least amongst us. So those who are the smelliest and undesirables of the world. The church was never supposed to be that power source. You were always supposed to be that power source, Marcus. You was always supposed to be able to have that click. You know what I'm saying? And I think we gave up on click and we just started having sheep. And we just started going, and it started becoming about personalities. Personalities more than Jesus, right? Like, and there's no disrespect to what Ben doing. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I'm saying. So I appreciate this. And this is no disrespect to Ben's parishioners that go to the church or go to the physical building. Ben's ministry to me is beyond just the teaching on Sunday. It's the calling in of the white supremacists in the fake church as they see it. And I try to tell people.
Hey, Mondale, may I?
Church. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm sorry. We just had this conversation before we came on air about how much his body of work, right? And I also want to mention this: the body of Christ and the body of the church, right? Right, like it's more than just the identity of just going to a church, and how much Ben has gone through. That's his story to talk about. But but how much he's gone through with his ministry outside of just the pure aspects of the book of Christ and Jesus and the Bible and also like the other things that he references in his preaching has affected him a lot. I'll let him talk on that. One thing I wanted to say though is in this moment of time, just for the clickbaity purposes, right? The church has this amazing opportunity right now to become the church of the 60s, to become the home of the movement, to reinvent themselves in a intersectional way. I hate to be like this, but that might be the problem that the church is going to have when we're in this moment where we need a organized home that has foundational money and space in all of our
space. Yes. Yeah.
Right? To organize in. And if they can get over their ways, right? Like, and here's my thing. It's okay to not like a person, but to shame a person and shun a person. That's not Christ-like.
That's right.
We need these spaces. We need these spaces right now in all of our communities, right? And I think also, Ben, maybe you could talk about this. we also need sort of an exchange of pastors. Just follow what I'm saying. We need an exchange of pastors. We need black and white pastors to start doing a little bit more work together to actually come up with conversations that really make America great. Because if we're going and we're bonding through Christ, right? If you're a Christian, then you know that you're not supposed to believe in all the racism, this, that, and the other, pointism, Xism, isms. And if we could get our pastors to see each other's view, right? If I could get a Ben Dixon and what's the boy name, the son of the big pastor that just said some racist crap,
Jimmy Swagger's son.
Swagger's son. Now I'm pretty sure Ben has some real choice words for him. But if they were to get into a conversation about Christ, I'm pretty sure that Ben would win that conversation about how he views certain things, and that is not happening in our practitioners of the Word of God.
Well, I think that's on purpose, right? And I think this is a perfect segue into talking about some of the stories tonight, right? Daniel Penny trial and Jordan Neely, right? The problem is that there are far too many white Christians, and there's some black Christians who fall in line with this foolishness, but they're the outlier. There's far too many white Christians who have sold their faith to MAGA, to Christian nationalism, and they have a complete inability. Matter of fact, I have a poll on my page asking, what would Jesus have done in the case of Jordan Neely? Would Jesus have choked out Jordan Neely like Daniel Penny did, or would Jesus have clothed them and housed them and fed them? And would you know it's almost a 50-50 split? 50% of the people are saying Jesus would have choked out Daniel Penny, because this is the type of Christianity that white Christians are molding right now, right before our eyes. And it's nothing new, right? You got to really contextualize it. These are the same folks who the majority of them ignored what was going on in slavery, or they justified what was going on in slavery, right? They're the same descendants, ideological, spiritual descendants of the same folks who ignored what was going on during Jim Crow, or just completely supported it. These are the same folks who used to have service on Sunday morning and then lynch us after service on Sunday morning. So I don't have a lot of stock invested. I do hope that there will be some in the white church who will actually be saved and delivered from white supremacy. But the track record through history really doesn't bode well. Now, we always have a couple of John Browns, shout out to the Reverend John Browns, those people who are so radical for Christ that they will put their life and limb and their bodies online to defend the helpless, to set at liberty the captive. But it really just it's a brand new day, man. And when I say brand new, I mean, it's come full circle. The MAGA Christians are right back to where their ancestors were, where they're willing to think that Jesus is okay with how they treat black folks and how they treat minorities.
Listen, you don't even, Ben, the fact that poll is 50-50 tells us how disconnected people are from the Bible, the word of Jesus, the work of Jesus, the body of Jesus. Because when Jesus was being arrested, one of his followers, one of the disciples, chopped the ear of the servant Malchus off, cut his ear off. And Jesus said, stop the violence, and continued being arrested, right? So he went peacefully to be crucified. So to ask that question is to say, what did Jesus do? Not what would he do? We saw him he sacrificed. Right. He didn't kill the people arresting him. So Jesus did the exact opposite of what this white man did in the face of so-called trouble or agony, and told his people to follow that. So I am disgusted at people, and like you said, there are some black Christians that go along with this shenanigans. And I think the best way for me to sum up my religion, my relationship with Christ, I think it was summed up even before I was born. And James Cone from Arkansas, one of the great theologians ever, said, you can't understand Jesus' ministry if you don't understand the lynching tree and what it means to black people. Because the Christianity has one purpose, and it's to be the balm to alleviate those that are oppressed. It is the message. The gospel is the good news for those People who are already riding high, the most amongst us, like the 1%ers, they don't need the good news. They don't need the gospel, because the Bible told you what was going to be their case. It's going to be as hard as an elephant to pass through the eye of a needle to make it to heaven. So we know that the gospel wasn't written for them. It was written about them and their oppression of the least of us. So I think when we see people who don't find themselves in 1% associating with the ideology of the 1%, saying that, yes, let's choke poor, mentally unstable folk to death, and then celebrate the person who did it as they walk out, and then have people like Kyle Rittenhouse saying, congratulations on your not guilty, or your, you know what I'm saying? When you have that happening, we are seeing reminders that the world has and always will be Satan's place.
Hey man, hey, Daniel Perry looks like a satanic Justin Bieber from the not Justin Bieber. What's your boy name? Oh, I don't know.
Timberlake. Yes.
Yes. Justin Timberlake from the early 2000s. Hey man, is it fair to say that MAGA is no longer, like, MAGA Christians are no longer Christian?
The only reason I don't say that is because I try to avoid.
Nice.
No. It's just a logical framing. Because really, they all think I'm the devil, so I don't worry about being nice to them. But the logical fallacy of no true Scotsman fallacy, right? To say, oh, that person's not a true Scotsman, or that person's not a true Christian. No,
that's fair. That's fair.
They're Christians. They're Christians, but they're those Christians that are that in Matthew, Jesus said, many are going to cry, Lord, Lord, and I'm going to say, depart from me. I never knew you, you workers of iniquity, right? These are the people who they go to church. They believe in Jesus, but they believe in a very specific type of Jesus, the type of Jesus that serves their political and economic power. And Mondale, I love the way you put it, right? They absolutely are the ones who the gospel is written about. Right. But they have co-opted it to make it seem as if it was written for them. And it's not that it can't be. Listen, it's not that a rich person can't be saved or get into heaven. It's the fact that what you do to get that wealth puts you in a position where people have to be delivered from you. Right. See, people looking at Daniel Penny. He's on our screen right now. They're elevating this guy to being their hero. Right. They're lifting him higher than Kyle Rittenhouse. And they're doing it because here is a man who had the training of jujitsu. He had the training of the military. He had privilege, position, and power. And he choked a man who had nothing. He strangled a man who had nothing. Didn't even have food. The man got on the train in mentally distressed. Yes. Demanding somebody help him. Demanding food. He was distraught. And you think about it, like, Daniel Penny, with all of his strength, could have assisted this guy. 30 seconds. I don't want to get, I got to give this context in regards to the story, because I don't care what nobody says. The fact that he got off basically saying he was self-defending, defending others on the train. The train emptied out. The subway train in New York emptied out just 30 seconds into the chokehold. So Neely gets on the train. Daniel Penny puts him in a chokehold after he feels like he's a threat. 30 seconds into the chokehold, the train stops and everybody gets off. Did that stop Daniel Penny from chokeholding him? No, he continued to put him in a chokehold for another 4 minutes and 30 seconds after the train was emptied out. So somebody tell me, who was he defending? Who was he protecting after everyone got off that train? But what does MAGA Christians do? What does MAGA do in general? They will erase that detail. They will bury that detail, and they will venerate this guy and say he's a hero because now he strangled somebody who was half his weight, who was hungry, homeless, and in mental distress.
Yeah, it's a shame that, like, you got to think about who this brother was. This brother did Michael Jackson, right? Like, I'm not saying that in context, but like the man himself was, like, however you want to look at it, he had a life, right? He was doing things, and I want to address something to the point that we made last week, right? About, like, Ben, you said you're worried about your kids, and which is probably going to lead into our next story, which is crazy out of Nebraska, or either lead into the banker who got, the healthcare guy who got unalived, right?
Yeah.
Neither here nor there. But what I'm getting at is the only issue that I have with all of this is that when there's a certain power that is in power in DC, it almost like these stories get elevated when the opposite power is
right.
like the
That's
right. And instead of it being this shit ain't stopped. Like 7 months ago, a brother was shot and killed. 2 years ago, a brother was shot and killed. During a Biden, Obama, Bush, Clinton, Carter, every day there's a mentality, but it gets elevated because, and I'm going to start doing this a lot more. We're going to start otherizing the leadership, right? Oh, look what this allowed, but this ain't changed.
Be that coming up, man. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. So we're kind of otherizing it, and I wanted to address this because it's like we have to put pressure on our administrations that we like.
That's good. That's good.
To make an ethos that this is not allowed across the board.
That's right.
Even Republicans, they don't come in and change everything. Man, I ain't touching that one. Sometimes they say that, right? But we don't have. There wasn't an ethos during the Biden administration to hold cops accountable. There wasn't a conversation about qualified immunity at a high level during the Biden administration. And now it's like, okay, now let's have a conversation about qualified immunity, right? Like this was about to happen, right? And we've been together long enough now where we went through Republican, Democrat, Republican as a team damn near, right?
Yeah.
And our issues literally haven't really stopped being talked about. So I'm gonna go 50,000 feet with this right here. Nobody gives a fuck about us. Dang, I'm on your channel. Sorry, Ben. Nobody is doing anything that has power. Now follow what I'm saying to you, right? Here's what I'm going to say. And then this might start a firestorm, but we talked about Vice President Harris and her loss and what she's done and what she hasn't done. I think if I'm the vice president and I'm going out, I would say publicly, before I get out of office, I would like for qualified immunity to be addressed, and I would like for all offenders of drug incarceration to be released from prison right now. Yeah. She can do that right now. You just ran for president. I think she has more followers than the president does on Twitter, right? My question is she gonna do that? See, we talk about leadership, right? We talk about I'm calling it out because it's like, okay, so since you didn't win president, now we don't have no talk. We don't talk no more. We don't fight for the right things. And this is one of the things that I want to talk about. The vice president should be the leader of the left. Still, right now, should be talking about, hey man, that was messed up, right? But is she doing that? And how do we? So my question is, like, are we keeping it real about who we're holding accountable? I don't know. That's my only point, right?
So a few things. First of all, I think that is a real question, and people might be like, well, Biden is the leader of the Democratic Party, or Jamie because he's the chair and he's the president. But in actuality, the last person nominated as president is the leader of the party, and that's a real thing. You get to disappear and ride off. just because of the results of an election. So what you're telling us is to continue with the transactional nature of politics, which is why so many people, 2 million black people sat out this election and almost 6 million total. So I think that's a real critique and a question that we should demand answers to. Where are you? How do you get to disappear when we see this next administration talking about not qualified immunity, but complete immunity for police officers? Right. And the reason, Ben, I asked you to keep this comment, people are getting radicalized up. That comment can only be true in the space where we've forgotten or we forget our history daily. And what I mean by that is they never stop lynching us. They just stop putting it in the newspapers and they stop going in meetings. They still do it. More cops are killing more black people than all the black people that were hung from the 1850s Reconstruction until the 60s. So the lynching of black bodies had never stopped. So we're not getting radicalized. It is a thing that has been American as apple pie and baseball. This is an old institution, the killing of black people by American state actors, in this case, police officers. So that was my rub with that comment. It's not the getting of, it's the remembering of that this didn't happen now. It happened with the freedom, the so-called freedom of black folk. Right, the idea that we can be as equal to those who this nation is so-called founded by. So I wanted to start there, but I think to get back to the point of the now is, where do these so-called political leaders get to hide to? Why are you still on vacation when we have this few days? Why couldn't your vacation start when your political job was up in January 20th? If the election ended in November, from November to the day you weren't announced the winner of this election, you should have been working your tail off to make sure that everything you were talking about during your run for president, anything that was possibly passed, you should have been working to make it happen in those days, in those moments. And the fact that it didn't happen and it has not happened and nobody's talking about it is frightening to me, because while people keep saying, oh, we seem alarmist and we seem like we're afraid of something, we know, we see it being set up, that the systems that protect black people, the guardrails, are being chopped down. Donald Trump, this leaked audio of Donald Trump saying to oil companies, give me $1 billion and we're going to allow you to have your way. Anybody with $1 billion can have their way. This is what he told oil companies, unlimited land. So I'm trying to tell people, if you think this benefits us in somehow, then you are disavowed from what reality is. So I'm a little sad also about the disconnecting, or how we've not connected what happened with the murder of the CEO.
Proceeded to solicit $1 billion from the.
My bad. That was audio running in the background. Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah. So for me, what I'm saying is, there's no disconnect between the actions of the man who shot the CEO and the way that they're carrying it, the media, and they're not talking about him. He's not being called a thug, a murderer, a hitman. He's not been called any of that. Well, not even a criminal. He's been called college graduate, valedictorian. They didn't found his speech when young boy, Jesus, who started the BLM thing? Come on, help me out. My brain is
you got a couple: Trayvon, Michael Brown.
When Michael Brown was murdered, we knew everything he did, including his suspensions from school. This young boy, all we know is everything good about him. He's not been called a thug, criminal, or none of that, and he shot somebody in broad daylight. You saw how easily he was taken in.
That's funny. That's a good point. I would think that, and this is where we see a fine line between leftists, and he's not even really a leftist, but he did something that people would attribute to the left, right? You would think that they would vilify him more because what he did falls into the category of anti-capitalism, right? But they're not doing that. They give an old boy the glamour treatment. I'm like, okay, that's what they're doing in the year of our Lord 2024 for putting people who go out and take down CEOs. But don't get it twisted. That's not how they would do it for a single black person. They would do what they did to Michael Brown. Go ahead, man.
Well, I mean, and they're not even doing the real research. Like, nobody has told you that this kid his family paid $40,000 a year for him to go to high school. He went to the most expensive high school in Maryland, in the DMV.
My God.
$40,000 a year. And what I'm saying about that is, I'm not talking about the money just like that. I'm talking about that his money came from United Healthcare, right?
Mm.
Like his family owns a string of our retirement homes, right? Community assisted community livings that are funded by these healthcare companies. So what we're probably watching is somebody being cut off or did something to get written out the will or said something. We don't know that. They ain't investigated that story, so we don't know. And I'm just speculating. But what we're not speculating about is where his family money came from, which is the same healthcare industry that he's railing against.
Wow. So he might not even been going after him because of the healthcare industry.
Right. Even though his manifesto said something different, I do agree with that tenet. I want to point something out, fellas. This shows me that we have literally been so far off, and the Harris campaign was so far off of where they should have been when it came down to talking points. Just follow what I'm saying, right? If this guy is being almost celebrated like a hero because he unalived a healthcare CEO, imagine the presidential candidate that was talking about free healthcare. Just follow what I'm saying. I don't want to get away from a fundamental issue. Murdering somebody is not good, and I'm not the person that's going to sit up here and try to even justify that. But on the same token, these guys have blood on their hands. These CEOs have blood on their hands. They have lobbyists in their pockets, and they have money on their mind. And by no means should we ever say it's cool to murder anyone, but we should be allowed to say that, okay, so, hey, Democrats, hey, Republicans, hey, whoever, there's a healthcare problem in America that's now getting your people offed, right? Why isn't this a more of a mainstream conversation about healthcare in America? Why is this? Because I'm hoping that this starts a conversation about what are these healthcare companies actually doing? How come? And I'm gonna say something. This is gonna mess with y'all head a little bit. If Obamacare was written in a way that it was more like Medicare for all, that guy would be alive today.
No comment. I mean, I got nothing to say against it. I think it's accurate.
So if according to his manifesto, again, Mondale might be right in his theory that, hey, you know what, this guy got cut out of somebody's will. But just follow what I'm saying now. If there was Medicare for all, that guy would be alive today.
Marcus, that guy talking about the CEO of United, and also millions of other Americans would be alive today.
That's right.
Oh, even more importantly, right? The reason why people are upset. So, like, listen, again, I'm not agreeing with murder, but this should be a litmus test on the mentality of talking about not only just healthcare, but big business in America. This could have been the CEO of a housing corporation, a mortgage company, a bank. This could have been the CEO of a lot of different companies, right? But it's starting to bleed over, because even in the MAGA era where everybody wants to get violent over you know what, transgender issues or whatever the right says, let me tell you something. There's some leftists out here right now that are so pissed off, and I'm not telling y'all to do nothing. So don't put that on Marcus B. Farrell. Don't do that to me. But what I will say is that there's a lot of Americans right now who are, let me raise my face up so I can be seen. Oh, there you go. So, there are a lot of Americans right now that are just upset across the board that our issues are fundamentally not being handled. And the only problem that I have literally is I know what Trump is going to do. He's going to reinforce these guys. He's going to make sure that they make more profits.
Yeah.
But when we have power, what the hell do we do with it? Nothing.
Serve power, serve other power. I mean, listen, we could boil this all down to the fact that truth be told, we all know that the Democratic Party at best merely held the line against corporatism, against neoliberalism, not even neoliberalism. They embraced neoliberalism economic policy full-throatedly, right? But in terms of all of the excesses and all of the horrible things that Trump is getting ready to run headlong into, at very best, the Democratic Party held the line against it. They never, since Johnson. Who was the last Democratic president that actually implemented some truly progressive left-leaning policies, like they were transformative? Obamacare was cool, right?
Hold on, not being forced. The last one was FDR. Not being forced.
Oh well, yeah. Well, Johnson was forced. Yeah. He didn't do that willingly. Absolutely, absolutely. And even with Obamacare, right? We champion it because it was Obama, but at the end of the day, it's from the Heritage Foundation. It's still like it wasn't Medicare for all, and it was so easily broken by Republicans. It was almost like, what's the point of it at this point, right? The Affordable Care Act is no longer affordable. But all that to say is that Democrats really never step out there in order to do something good for the people. They have been trying to be the corporate party that they've been since like the late 70s, when Reagan came in.
I have a point to make here. So I am often on Obamacare depending on how much money that I made during the year, right? I'm off Obamacare now, right? But last time I checked, I'm single man, no kids.
Tell it. How much?
$445 for bronze. I'm not even going into like gold and silver and platinum. Bronze. So here's my question. Back in the day when I used to work $15 an hour, $10 an hour, $19 an hour, all that, actually, $19 an hour is still good now in Georgia.
Hear that?
But back in the day, I used to get taken out. Guess how much I used to get taken out of my check for healthcare? $400. This is the early 2000s. This is like my first job took out $400 for healthcare because I remember saying to myself, I'm working an hourly job, dog. I'm about to get X, Y, and Z, and then I see my check. And it was $700 short. We all went through that moment where it was like, whoa, what is this? It's called taxes and healthcare. And healthcare was $300 in the 90s. So what's affordable about healthcare right now?
Look, let me give you one. Let me do you one better, man. For my wife and myself and just one of our kids, we weren't going to go to try to insure all of our kids just because of the price. It was $1,500 a month for Obamacare. $1,500 a month. All right. So this was immediately, don't get me wrong. Now, I want to make sure we know that for me, this was immediately after Republicans got rid of the individual mandate. And by them getting rid of the individual mandate, that shot up the prices for everybody. And so we live in a system that is so destructive, has no concern, no regard for anyone. And if they can make our lives more miserable, they actively seek this out. And I think that's something that took me a long time to come to grips with, is that, some of these MFers are just evil and they have no problem. If there's something they can do to hurt someone else, whether they make $1 off of it or not, they'll do it. Right? The cruelty is the point, but let them be able to make $1 off of it. Oh man, they'll kill as many people. Look at the healthcare industry. They will kill as many people as they need to in order to meet those quarterly profit margins.
I mean, right now they're talking about, well, they're not talking about it. They're actually, the day after this man was unalive, what did they put forth? They said, oh, you know what? We're going to limit how much anesthesia you can get. Right? This happened in real life. Like during surgery, some arbitrary amount of money that they can save from anesthesia, Blue Cross Blue Shield said, "Oh, in Connecticut, we're gonna limit how much anesthesia we give, not based on what the doctors or the surgeons say, based on what they can save." And I mean, this is where we find ourselves. And not to defend Obamacare too much, but we also, because it was written poorly, like, right? It wasn't written for the complete safety and protection of American people. It also wanted to ensure that insurance companies could still make some money, right? So I think that in itself was the inherent flaw in it. But we also got a whole I saw William Munn say Democrats are 100% responsible for where we find ourselves, but I can't go along with that 100% number, because Republican governors, like what's happening in Texas and what has been happening in Texas, saying, "Oh yeah, we're not going to expand Medicaid, we're not going to take care of our people, we're going to let them be the most unhealthiest people and also die early by preventing it," is also part of the reason Obamacare is so expensive. So we have to acknowledge that as well.
Yeah.
Hey man, would you put Bad Lefty's post up? I think it's important right now. Yep, that's right. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar
bill,
yo.
Hold on, I say that for a reason. I'm happy that you said that, Bad Lefty. Cash rules everything around me. So when I voted for Obama in 2008, my political nuance wasn't where it was. I didn't realize that politically cash ruled everything around me. When I voted for Obama in 2012, I started realizing it. I'm aged and I'm old and crusty in this political game now. And what I'm saying is cash rules everything around me. When Obamacare passed and the banks got bailed out, and we still have not figured out.
People got sold out.
Guys, we can go on for days, but it's bigger than a complaint. Just y'all follow my little thing for a second. It's bigger than a complaint, because I do want to talk about Jay-Z real quick, but it's bigger than a complaint, right? I am so sick and tired of us as Black people, people of color, poor people, poor white folks, middle-class white folks, people who give a damn, having to settle for something that is not pushing the real issues of America and how we fundamentally change things. I hate to be like this, but that wasn't a fundamental change election that we just went through. It wasn't. It was a let's keep safe election, to Ben's point. Let's keep our right election, to Ben's point. But if we had a let's keep our lives, let's make our lives better election, we would have had a different candidate. That's why I want you, Ben, I want you to bring up, when you get a chance, that post that I put in our Twitter thread, about the brother who ran the Harris campaign.
Got it.
I think this is important in this conversation. And I'm not here to, yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I don't know what y'all talked about beforehand, but I got some words about this.
Yeah. So check this out.
Go.
So before we put this out there, I'm going to say this right here. I like Black people in power. I like Black people who have positions. But after that, if you make bad decisions, I want to hold your ass as accountable as anybody else. Run that shit, Ben. Please.
We had 107 days, and I know people don't like that time frame, that number, but to open up a Democratic primary, you would have had Black women, who were the strongest voting bloc for Kamala Harris, be highly upset if it was not Kamala Harris. You would have had someone starting with zero infrastructure. I hear your concern, and I'm not saying that primaries are not important and open primaries are important. We had 107 days, and I know people don't like that time frame, that number, but to open up a Democratic primary, you would have had Black women, who were the strongest voting bloc for Kamala Harris, be highly upset if it was not Kamala Harris. You would have.
All right, there we go. It's on repeat now, but.
All right. Cheers to fixed elections here. Guys, we are at a place right now where someone is trying to explain why democracy for Democrats is bad. It's that simple. We are at a place right now, and I'm not sitting up here saying that Vice President Harris wasn't the person that the Democrats were going to pick. What I'm saying is that when you don't allow other people in the game, ideas aren't even brought to the table. Conversations aren't even brought to the table. So this is not an anti-Democrat rant for me. What this is right now is we have people who get chosen at the top who just agree to power structures. And if you think that those healthcare systems and those healthcare prices, the people who healthcare, whether it's banking, those folks don't have an influence on this guy right here, right? And what he's saying right now and what was going on in that campaign, then you don't know why Kamala Harris lost. Sorry. That's what I have to say about it. Like people need a change right now. Not when it's feasible or they're going to sit at home. And our side of the house is way more willing to sit at home because you motherfuckers ain't did nothing for us. Now imagine if he was on here at Harvard Kennedy School of Politics and he was saying, man, I feel really bad that we didn't have an opportunity to hear other voices in the primary. Imagine if he was here saying at that school right now, at that school at Harvard, hey, man, you know what? We didn't talk enough about healthcare. Man, we didn't talk enough about wages. Man, we didn't talk enough about, no. You know what he's doing? He's holding the status quo. Y'all get mad at me if you want to, but the leader over here, the leader of the thing that everybody was supposed to vote for last time is saying this right now in real time. What are we supposed to do? Well, guess what? Somebody had an idea, and it's not my idea, but he damn sure unalived somebody. Instead of seeing some hope in the future of having an America that actually cares about people.
But Marcus,
I'm sorry. That's where I'm at.
I don't think you need to be sorry, but I mean, because what you're saying is based on what I'm saying. What you're saying is based on like integrity and moral fortitude. Quentin Folks is a scam artist, and what I mean by that is he is a creature of the political party. From Emily's List to Pritzker, this guy used to be. He helped get a billionaire elected governor of Chicago, and that became his access to all of these places. I talked to Quentin several times during the campaign. So what he's saying now, it sounds to me like I didn't score my next gig. I didn't start my next pack. I didn't got $50 million secured for me to be comfortable enough to say this. He wouldn't carry this water when he was on the campaign. This wasn't his notion. He wasn't comfortable funding anybody outside of or moving any of those resources outside of the political structure, the same people, the Seawaters, the collectives, all of the same organizations got the monies. And so that's this to me is a dastardly move by this black man who I talked several times, even before the campaign was launched, even before Biden's campaign was launched. So this is political speak for I'm an individual. I'm telling the truth. You're not truth telling when you already secured your next bag and you're onto your next grip. He's a part of the grift of the campaign that spent money with the same white consultants as Hillary Clinton did. He is responsible for so many black people not being funded. Black men specifically, and I can show receipts. I will send them to Ben, and he can put them up on the screen right now because what I don't do, and you know that, Marcus, is I don't care. So hold
on, Mondale.
Go ahead.
Mondale. First off, organize that and put it on next week. We need people to come back. No, we ain't holding no punches. Don't say that and not do it. We ain't holding no punches. I think our viewers deserve to see receipts. And more importantly, guess what this brother ain't doing right here? Right, this guy right in here. I wish I could poke him in his head. He's not talking about any issue that impacts American people, and he was in a position of power. See, you know what? Here's my thing, man. I'm going to keep it real. I've had positions of power in America before. Even though it might have been a smaller period of time, I've had positions of power. And I've always tried my hardest to parlay that power for good. For good. Not for my own benefit. Trust and believe I wouldn't be talking on ClickBaity Political Thirst Trap if I was trying to do that. Right? Mondale, you talked to this brother. Quiet as a mouse during the campaign. Quiet as a mouse, right? Look, man. Niggas like this right here make us all look bad. They do. Because they claim to be on our side of the house. They're gonna have a nice little seat at the front of the damn CBC convention and shit, and at the awards gala. They're gonna have all these spaces that they're gonna be accepted in. Oh, that's Quentin Folks. He got so and so elected. He was the nigga. You ain't doing shit. All right, I'm sorry, Ben. This is your chant again. I'm sorry.
No, I feel left out because it's not like I can publicly cuss anymore. People have to go back to my catalog to see all my good days of cussing real good. But I don't know this brother. And I'm from what I'm gathering. What I do know happened exactly what you said, Mondale, was that there were no resources put into the Black infrastructure, to Black media, to Black organizers. And if he's the reason for it, then I'm just going amen everything that y'all just said. Oh, I didn't realize that.
He's got a cat that goes to a Diddy party.
Oh Lord. Let me turn.
He from South Georgia, went to Chicago, was in DC, worked for Emily.
I'm not, man. I don't have a problem with
I do. I'm gonna tell you, Marcus, because Marcus,
I met the brother.
You being nice. You being nice, Marcus. I have a problem when brothers become the deputy. This brother, along with Alejandro Chavez, who y'all know is like my brother, who is the grandson of Cesar Chavez, his first cousin ran. Quentin and Alejandro's first cousin were in charge of the campaign. We had a brown woman and a black man, and all we saw was the same damn thing. This is why people are so pissed. This is why people are so comfortable saying that there's no difference between the parties. Because when you get people like this, and they automatically assume, well, black people do the same thing. But what they won't say is, this brother's pedigree is different than ours. He is a creature of the Democratic Party. D-Trip, Emily's List, that, and we can talk about all the black women campaigns that Emily List has tanked. Sherry Beasley should have won her Senate race, but Emily List said, we're going to put our campaign manager in, or we're not going to raise money or send you money. So we can talk about all of these links, but we can also talk about the money in politics since Citizen United, since free speech.
Hey, Mondale, you need to break that down some more. Mondale, you need to break down what you just said a little bit more, brother, because I don't think people can understand it unless you know what an Emily's List and why that money got taken away from who's the candidate. Like, break it down a little bit because you said something very important.
Emily List only endorse women. They endorse women that are have a strong standing on women issues, mainly women's right to choose. And if you're that, then along with other things, meaning you can raise enough money, then they'll come into your race. They're like one of the largest PACs in this country, and they normally send white people to run black people campaign. They are a white woman organization, and they are responsible for sending. Sherry Beasley had black people given free space. I can name 7 black men that were given free consultant money to Sherry Beasley before the white people would get involved, before Emily List said she raised enough money for they to get involved. And they said, you got to fire the brother who was given his free time. He never got paid, giving his free time to your campaign, and hire the campaign manager that they want. What happens is you come in with this Washington, D.C. approach to North Carolina politics or any state politics, and it never wins. It's never effective. And we saw that with Sherry Beasley. We see that with so many candidates. And then another tie to this brother, another prong, another branch to the nastiness is he got a $3.6 billion nair. Did I make that up? I probably did. He got, and Pritzker elected governor. He helped a billionaire win an election in Chicago.
If you're a billionaire, you don't need you could get anybody off the street and win an election.
If you're a billionaire, you shouldn't even be allowed to run for president because you've already worked the system enough. Every billionaire is a policy failure or multiple policy failures.
Okay. Wait. I told myself I'd do this. Pritzker has made some good decisions and some bad decisions, right? I'm not going to just bash that man. And trust and believe. Like trust and believe. If he was all evil, I would say he's all evil, right? He's not. Pritzker is actually like, I ain't saying the Pritzker family because the Pritzker family is they're a thing, right? But like, and I'm not even gonna go into it, but like we have to be like, I want
you gonna give a full disclosure at this moment, or should I give it for you?
Go ahead, give it for me.
Marcus has marijuana companies. Pritzker legalized cannabis in
for who? For who?
Let me just. I don't want people to be like, "Oh, Marcus ain't." I gotta tell everybody, Marcus is a businessman too. Now, don't forget that.
Yeah, I am a businessman, but he also allowed. Like, here's my thing.
No, he's right on.
He did something that no other state did. Like he made sure that black people got dispensaries in Chicago and in Illinois. Like if you name another governor that is going to do that right there, like even if I wasn't in the game, I have to say, okay, well at least this guy did that in comparison to like, I mean, hell, California equity program is garbage. Also, the man ain't.
Yeah, but Marcus, are you going to talk about his geopolitics where he came out against a black mayor of Chicago when he said permanent ceasefire, and he said he's against the permanent ceasefire in Gaza?
And also came out against reparations in South Chicago, right? Like, listen, I know that. Like I know that, and all I'm saying is that there's some good with the bad, and that's with every politician. Now, here's my question though. Here's my issue. When he decides to run for president, because his name is in the hat, just like Gavin Newsom, just like AOC, right?
Gretchen,
right? Like we can. And this conversation is a little early, but guess what? These people are going to start gearing up their campaigns very soon, right? When these guys start running for president, how are we going to judge these folks? We got this like a a slug from Lady Monster.
Wait a minute, I gotta look it up.
Yeah, no, don't. Yeah, that's.
Oh man! Oh wow!
Hey, can I get off politics for a second because we haven't talked Earth in America for a while. I do want to bring this up, right? Us three have never addressed Diddy. We have as a crew, we've never addressed Diddy because Jay-Z just got taken to court by unknown person who says that she was claimed that she was assaulted at 13 years old in the year 2000, and I have to say, right, like it's big. I'm a very big Hope fan. I'm also a fan of like freedom and like proving that you're innocent. But like Jay-Z was hanging out.
That's not what the law says, Marcus.
Jay-Z was hanging out with R. Kelly. Like he made a whole ass album.
No. You remember what happened because you're a music head. So you remember as soon as R. Kelly was accused of what he was accused of, Jay-Z was like, Jay-Z said, I don't want nothing to do with this guy. We're not putting out the app. That's
because he got arrested. If the guy didn't get arrested, he wouldn't even bruh. Jay-Z still stay hanging out with Diddy. Come on, man.
But Marcus, Jay-Z and Diddy have never been close.
Jay-Z and Diddy have never been close?
No. You know that. That ain't even controversial.
They've been close.
No, they've been. No. Nah, dog. These people weren't close. The first
Jay-Z and Diddy were not close.
No, the first olive branch handed in that relationship was when we were old men. We were already gray in our teeth, bro. We were already long in the tooth. Let me tell you. I'm
not talking about rap battles of the 90s. I'm talking about
rap
2000s. Not even they were close.
Not even rap battles. Listen. So there's one thing about Marcus, and you've been in politics long enough to know what I'm saying. There's one thing to be seen being cordial. There's another thing to be seen as being close. Jay-Z and Diddy have never been Marcus, Mandela, and Ben. Gotcha. Not ever. And we know that. Just like Jay-Z and Diddy have never been close.
Okay. So that might be right? Mondale,
Marcus,
Ben, and Marcus also have never been accused of having a three-way with a 13-year-old, and also like, hold on, wait. I said accused. Accused.
Okay.
So what I'm saying to you is this right here, right? Like the only thing, my whole point about this whole situation is that, and this is not my Diddy point because I have a different Diddy point. My whole point about the situation is like, we got to watch our heroes and who we make heroes.
Yeah.
Because the people that we've made heroes because they talk a dope drug game or make a dope track. And by the way, Jay-Z is the most amazing rap artist. I don't care what nobody says. Like the only times he's been beat was by Twister and Andre 3000 and his tracks. When it comes down to hit the tracks that he made, right? We got to watch who we idolize, because what we tend to do is, and I say this about him, and I say this about his wife, right? Like, and I'm very careful to keep the beehive off me, but like, we got to keep it real. You don't become a billionaire in healthcare, in life, without stepping on doing some dirt, point blank. And what I'm saying is, like, you got to think about it. How old was Foxy Brown when she dropped that? How old was Foxy Brown when she was signed? How old was Foxy Brown when Nas said, Foxy got you hot because you kept her facing the puss? How old was she then? She wasn't even 17 when Nas said that, bro. Y'all don't wanna hear me though. Y'all wanna we wanna play games.
It's been elevated. As we
oh,
my bad. I didn't mean to have the audio, but go ahead.
I'm just saying. Like, I'm not blaming. I can't accuse nobody because Jay-Z probably
let the audio play because Marcus, are we saying everybody at this toast is close to Diddy? Everybody, because what people are
no, I'm saying Jay-Z.
You attend industry parties.
Mondale, I'm blatantly saying Jay-Z has been close to Diddy more than you're trying to like make that out.
I'm not. I want to have time to rebuttal whenever you get a chance. Go ahead.
All right. So what I'm saying is Jay-Z has been close to Diddy. Am I saying that Jay-Z has done anything to anybody? I think Jay-Z is actually too smooth and debonair and also like smart to get involved with any of that nonsense. But man, you do have to ask yourself the question, even with the rebuttal from R. Kelly, right? And I'm not sitting up here trying to bash a black man because I think Jay-Z's probably like the best rapper businessman ever on the planet, right? But on the same token, that means we know who good businessmen are and what they do, bruh. Let's not play games, bruh. Think about that. Think about it. Every businessman in the Clyde Davis, let's think about all the people who have been in the game, that things come out about them. Hollywood is Hollywood, man. And to be honest with you, all I'm saying is, like, every person has a human side, and guess what? I think Jay-Z has one too. Aaliyah was how old?
Aaliyah was dating Dame Dash, guys. Let's not do that.
Yeah, but she was what?
I don't know how old she was.
Didn't Jay-Z want Aaliyah? Didn't Jay-Z try to?
Aaliyah dated. So I don't want to interrupt you. I want to let you finish, and I want to go there.
No, I'm done, man. I'm done. I'm done. All I'm saying is Foxy Brown was a teenager when Nas dissed her. That's a fact.
What you sipping on over there?
What's going on? Oh yeah, no.
You on mute. You on mute, Doc.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like my turn to speak. So let's be clear. Like, here's what I think. I've never considered Jay-Z a hero because I remember Jay-Z's horrible like co-signing of gentrification. And I'm not just talking about Barclays. I'm talking about before that, when he invited white people into Brownsville and they started buying up waterfront property and pushing black people out and away from resources. So my politics and Jay-Z politics are completely different. We were advocating for ending cash bail, and that punk ass dude, Jay-Z, introduced some app that he had where they can monitor black men. And we talked about this on ClickBaity during COVID when he
we did.
That Promise app where he allowed motherfuckers to listen to black men or listen to anybody out on bail by putting on their phones, which would incriminate not only them, possibly their friends too. So
damn, there goes our Rock Nation contract.
Yeah, my politics have always been different than Jay-Z's for those reasons. But I also know I also am not a fool of fools, right? So let's be clear. Jay-Z and Diddy represent two black people in a space where there are not a lot of black people, right? So to say that they're close simply because they are engaging together and talking about like or showing up at parties together don't make them close. I've made many a toast with congressmen that I can't really stand. Byron Donaldson, punk ass, is a member of CBC. So every time I do something at CBC, I gotta run into this punk ass dude. So people would sometimes probably see me and Byron Donaldson in the same picture to imply that I'm close with that motherfucker. And every time I call him a bitch ass dude. Excuse my language. But
okay,
it's documented at the convention, the DNC convention. When he showed up, I told him how thirsty and disgusting he was. It's documented. It was called. I was on an interview. He walked past, and I told him what he was. So I mean, like,
hey, no, what you say, Mondale? Say it. Go ahead.
I'm like, bro, you super thirsty, bro. Like, why are you here? Like, you're here because you like the clicks. You trash. And I told him, and he turned around. It's like it ain't my fault they want to interview me. And I'm telling nobody wants to interview you. You a lap Negro. You a coon, if we can say that. But let me get back to the topic. What we're seeing right now is impossible to divorce from what the reality is. First of all, Foxy Brown is a year older than me. I'm 45. Look 50, but I'm 45. Foxy Brown is 46, about to be 47 years old. She was not underage when Nas wrote that lyric, to be clear.
Okay.
To be clear.
Okay.
Jay-Z is also 9 years older than me, which means he was in his 20s when that lyric was written. So to be clear, we're talking about consenting adults, even though they both said they've never had relationships. It was a diss, and we know what happens in rap diss. That's just that. Secondly, it is very well known that Jay-Z and Diddy don't have a close personal relationship. Very well known. So them being at parties together, somebody said that they throw their holiday parties together. That is absolutely great. Diddy throw these parties, and people, I think what happened, all of these freakos have, the freakos have taken over all of Diddy parties. If you went to a Diddy party, you were a part of a freak-off right now. That's just what it is. Let's just say that. It is illiterate to believe that everybody that went to a Diddy party is guilty of having sex with or watching people have sex with underage people or take advantage of people. That is just not, let's be clear about the situation. Furthermore, the night of, if you look at the original lawsuit from Jane Doe that did not include Jay-Z's name, and then when this greedy ass lawyer who said we're going to go after basically legal extortion, when it changed, you can see the details of this lawsuit changed. First of all, this person said Diddy's driver told her he was going to pick up at 9:30. This is what the original, when Jay-Z wasn't named, 9:30 p.m. The VMAs was going on, didn't end until 11 p.m. So she had to go back and when she named Jay-Z and clean that up. And then she said Diddy driver made her wait a long time after, no time was in there, long time after everybody left VMAs. She said they then drove for 20 minutes. Remember, the VMAs in that year was in Manhattan. 20 minutes to a white house, a white mansion with a circular driveway that was in a fenced community. There are no fenced communities 20 minutes from where the VMAs was happening, without traffic, let alone the night of the VMAs. The fucked up part about it is we have documentation. Sorry for cursing, Ben. We have documentation that Jay-Z was at Lotus. Lotus is a nightclub, not a mansion. Lotus Club is not a white building that's in a fence community. It's closed down now, but Lotus Club was a club in Midtown Manhattan. Jay-Z was at a completely different party than Diddy. Diddy was with J-Lo, Beyonce. They trying to say Beyonce was at a party with Destiny Child and her mother with Tony Mottola's party at a restaurant. All of this is documented. That's why Jay-Z said, you don't want to go there. Let's make it a criminal charge, because this is easily documented. You can see where they were that night. They were all at different spaces. So that's why I'm saying, I'm always saying Jay-Z is politically
clean.
Scum.
He's clean.
It's politically scum to me. But in this case,
no.
What we're saying in this case is what we know. What we know, this lawyer has a history of extorting people by saying, you got to send us a demand letter. So money or we go public, and it's going to look bad for your rep.
So I can safely love Jay-Z again.
Well, you can love him. You can love his music. I would never tell you to love him as a person. We watched this man say he wouldn't even give his family members who asked him for $400 or $4,000. He wouldn't even give it to them because what are they going to do with it? And this man had billions of dollars, and he's not willing to help a family member with $4,000. So his incestual relationship with capitalism, his incestual relationship with the capitalism is one that should cause pause for any black person. Because
do you think I
think Jay-Z, I think these white people at Bacardi, the same family that we call Bacardi rum, a Puerto Rican rum, when in actuality,
Puerto Rican rum,
Bacardi are not though. In actuality, Bacardi are white Cubans that fled with all of the people that left when Fidel kicked out American interests, and they took.
And you say, okay, so what?
The Bacardi mansion. Hold on a second. The Bacardi mansion is actually downtown on Floridita Ave in Cuba. They left with white money interests. They sold out their country because they rather be associated with white money, white capitalism. So this same family, this same entity, of course, it's a public trading entity now. The same entity, Jay-Z just beat them in a trial for trying to devalue his stock and his alcohol.
Well,
now,
so you know they did the same thing with Diddy with DeLaggio.
They did. Well, let me go to the next spot. The next spot is Jay-Z is the leading, or was the leading, because I don't know what this is going to do. The leading bidder. He's outbid everybody to take over the Caesar Casino in Times Square, New York. This just happened.
Wow.
So Jay-Z about to get the Caesar, and right now, and to say that you don't believe
the casino,
yes,
the whole
in Manhattan. He's about to open it. They were about to open up a casino in Times Square. In Times Square, about to open a casino. Jay-Z is the leading bidder for that. So to say that these white people in business aren't affected, that this white man and this black man is outbidding them for places that he ain't even supposed to be, is absolutely crazy to us. We know what happens. And also when people are saying, oh, Jay-Z never responds, he responded immediately. This man has a 12-year-old fucking daughter. So I'm sorry again, Ben. 12-year-old daughter that is old enough to read the news, and her friends bring this to her. He's absolutely regarded and supposed to respond immediately. So what I'm upset about is the lack of people check. Just look at. You don't even got to go by Jay-Z's story. Just go back, and this is public information, guys, because I didn't do this until somebody did it for me. Then I had to go look myself. All you got to do is go back and look at the original claim, and then look at it when they added Jay-Z names, and look at all the facts that changed. The time when they were picked up, the places they went. This woman said that Jay-Z drugged her in the second claim. But in the first claim, she said
I don't believe that.
She said she took a drink from a waiter. She went from getting a drink from a waiter at a white mansion that is in a fixed community where Jay-Z was not at. He was at Lotus on the night that this happened. It's just illogical for us as black people to allow them to go at it. And I'm not talking about black elite. I'm talking about this is white people reminding so-called uppity Negroes to stay in your place.
Okay, so you mentioned the liquor company. Now, the original conversation that I was bringing up was, by the way, thank you for your breakdown on Jay-Z. Like you made me love him a lot more again. My question is, I think DeLaggio does have something to do with P. Diddy, but I also think Diddy really did do a lot of that shit. So it's almost like don't hold things in the closet, and like don't talk noise if you have things in the closet, right? And when it comes down to like these liquor companies and these billion-dollar companies with these black faces, how do we get our home without having to worry about somebody coming down on us? Do we all need to be like Jay-Z? Because it seems like Jay-Z, from what you said, played it right? Like, I pissed off a billion-dollar company, and guess what? I'm still winning.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's never going to be America's capitalist system is never going to be comfortable for black people. Let's just be clear, right? So I mean, this is oldest pie. Like, think about how many black entities have been ruined by the claim of sexual misconduct by a black man, right? Just go back in history and think about all the entities that were ruined or opportunities that were ruined by that. I mean, there's a long history of America, and this is how you destroy these so-called successful black men. When you went too far, when there's no space for you, when there's no apparatus to allow you to sit at the table that you've now arrived at. This table, sir, was supposed to be all marble, with white marble, with all white people sitting around it. So how dare you, with all your nappy hair, show up here? And I think,
hey, Mondale, did he do it?
And I also think that it's illogical.
Did he do it?
Did Jay-Z do what?
No, I ain't say Jay-Z.
Did he?
Did he do it?
He's a motherfucker. Did he? I mean, on so much. I don't know on everything, but on so much. This person, this Jane Doe, and her lawyer about to find out. I'm never gonna say that. Did he track record of being? People keep talking about Diddy and just his sexual misconduct and these parties. Diddy is not on trial for these fucking parties. Diddy's on trial for something more disgusting. Diddy's on a RICO charge. Diddy was burning people's cars up for talking to a woman that he liked. Diddy's on trial for RICO. Diddy was threatening people. Diddy has a track record of being uncontrollable. And people should know that.
Pastor Ben, did he do it?
Who did he?
Yeah.
It seemed like he did it. Yeah. I mean, look, I've been listening to the whole conversation. I feel some kind of way about Jay-Z because he is one of my favorite lyricists. At the same time, all of his politics suck so bad, man. It's like, come on, Jay, like, give me something. But then when you start listening to his lyrics, you start, oh, okay, yeah. He likes to shout out Reagan. He likes to shout out just some of his lyrics itself is problematic and it shows his politics. But Diddy, I used to be a huge fan of Diddy as a producer, and I wanted to go to New York and work with Diddy when I was 18. I'm so glad I didn't get that opportunity, to be honest with you. Yeah, like, good Lord, like, what?
No more Pastor Ben.
And I don't know where I would be if I. Man, I probably been in jail for killing the man.
Trying to get some Cambodian breast milk.
Somewhere, whatever errand he would have sent me on. But to the underlying problem though is that I think a lot of black people, generally speaking, but black men, when they get power, they kind of forget that you're still a Negro and that this system will track every detail of you. You can't go out here and act like Clive Davis. You can't go out here and act like any of the number of people that were your mentor, people who showed you how to do this and do X, Y, and Z. And then it's not even just because you're black. Like, let's just be decent human beings, right? Diddy seems like he had no decency about him whatsoever. It seemed like everything came down for Diddy to some form of abuse and some form of neglect. Neglecting his artists, abusing his artists, right? And that went not only from the music arena to his parties, to his freak offs. And I also think that Diddy tried to, which is something that happens all the time. Like, you set up these parties so that you can get compromise on all the people who came, right? So, I think Diddy was playing a game that his finances said that he could play, but his skin color said, you're not going to get away with it. You're not, like, and then I want to reject the notion that we should even feel like that, right? At some point, you're going to have some self-control as a human being, you know, not just because you're black, but because you're a human being. But if you're a black person in these spaces, you definitely got to have some self-control. You definitely can't get caught up and go into all these things and do all these things, because they're literally keeping a file on you for that opportunity when they need to drop it on you. So I think he fooled himself. This is what I said when it first happened and it first came out. I think Diddy fooled himself into thinking that he was more powerful than he was. He thought his money transcended everything else, but it doesn't. It barely does that. Listen, when we talk about like the Me Too movement, it barely transcended money for skin color for other people, right? They took down some pretty powerful white dudes in that movement, which is good, which is the right thing. But I think Diddy really, truly believed that he was above the law.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the money did that for Diddy. I think Diddy's life did that for him. Like, people forget who Diddy Daddy was and who he was to the community where he's from. So I think, I mean, like, this is a toxic individual from birth. I mean, people forget that Diddy beat a football coach up in practice for what was going on with his son at football practice, and nothing happened to him. So yeah, we know he had this oversized ego and also sense of self. Like I said, David Chappelle jokes are a great mirror at life at some point sometimes. And I think Diddy, his skit on Diddy was spot on. Like, Diddy demands everything of everybody around him because he think he's Jesus. I mean, that is a fact. I mean, this is the origin of it. This is why Kanye loved Diddy so much. I mean, I think these people have these God complexes and they expect so much. So I think that's that. I think Diddy and this Jay-Z situation is completely different, simply because I see a lawyer being greedy, and the tragedy is what I see is our people so quick to just jump in. And I mean, even with the mistake that Marcus said when he said, "I respect people having to prove themselves innocent," that is not what our system says. Our system says that they have to prove you guilty, but we are comfortable thinking that black men are guilty at the base, and then they need to make themselves innocent. And I think that is a hard thing to accomplish when you consider the fact that America has a high tolerance for black suffering, especially black men. We watched a black man get choked 6 minutes after everybody that was supposed to be protected got off the train. He was still being choked. We watch a white man put his knee on a black man's neck and put his hands in his pocket to kill a black man. We watch a black kid on the playground playing with a play gun toy that was bought by his mother at a store in America get shot while the car was still moving that the police rode up in, and America didn't stop this cop from being a cop. 2 years later, he was a cop in a different state. We watched a legal gun owner tell the police officers, "I am a licensed gun carrier, Philando. I'm a licensed gun carrier, and my gun is in my glove compartment." And we watched him get lit up with his daughter in the back seat. We watched Ahmaud Arbery go for a fucking jog and get killed. We watched and we watched and we watched, and you can add their names behind the "we watched," and you can see how comfortable America is.
Hey, Mondale,
black men specifically die 1,000 deaths, not just a physical death. This too seems like one, because regardless when this man when this man's name is cleared, his name will never be cleared because it's a rape charge, and some folk will still say, "Oh, money got him off."
Mondale, can I
live with that?
If I may, I guess I've fallen victim to the media narrative a little bit. And I will apologize to ClickBaity people who are watching, and also to you two brothers. They've done a damn good job at making us the enemy. But there's also a place in me where it's like, I saw that nigga Diddy sending people to go get cheesecake. And when I saw that, it never made me trust. Like, that was one of my first power moments. Like, power corrupts all, right? And as soon as I saw Diddy just sending people across the Brooklyn Bridge, and I've walked the Brooklyn Bridge, let me tell you something. I wasn't ready for my conference when I got back, right? I wasn't. And seeing that lets me know that the power corrupts all. So my thing is this. I wish that we had because I'm gonna say this right here, man. As much as I love Pac, as much as I love Biggie, as much as I love Big L, as much as I love
Outkast. One second. Ben, you mind if we
Drop the image.
put something different?
Yeah, there you go. Right. As much as
I feel like Ben was doing subliminal messaging to people, like, look at these Negroes together.
Hey,
Shouldn't that other one be what the other one is? Look at these Negroes together.
We ain't gonna talk about Meek Mill, but
No. Oh Lord. Lord, why did I have to listen to that audio? My God.
hey, listen. Hold on. Was that Meek? Was that Meek?
It sounded like Meek, man. Come on, bro.
Stop the cap.
Bro.
Was that Meek? Yes or
Don't
no?
make me pull up the audio. It sounded like Meek.
In my eyes, that was Meek Mills, dog.
No, pull up the audio.
In my eyes, that was Meek. In my eyes, that was Meek.
Hey, we need to figure this out. Like,
listen, I done listened for 20 plus years. I done listened to Dreams and Nightmares. I know that voice. That was Meek Mills. That song has been in the club for 20 years, dog. I know Dreams and Nightmares. I know your voice. That was Meek Mills, dog.
I don't want it to be Meek so bad, bro.
Man,
like, because Meek kind of sort of like represented something to me that was like.
But he didn't know. He didn't. Remember when he first came home? When he first got out after being out, all these black people protesting that he should be free because they put him on probation for 19 years and it was destined to get him locked back up for riding a dirt bike. The first thing he wanted to do was go meet Donald Trump, and Jay-Z said, you can't go to the White House and meet Donald Trump. We're doing Trump's first presidency. You remember that? The day he came home, he was about to go to the White House, and Jay-Z's like, you can't do that.
That might have been you think that was the reason why?
I mean, just let's listen to the audio. I'm just chilling.
Oh,
nah, bro, you gotta put it up now. So for those who don't know, I'll introduce this one. For those who don't know, this is an alleged copy of a voice of a recording of Meek Mills and and P. Diddy having a rump at one of Jay-Z's after parties.
Not Jay-Z's after party. Diddy's after party.
I keep saying Jay-Z.
It's Diddy and Meek Mills supposedly, allegedly, at one of Diddy's party doing what them freakos do. Play it.
Yeesh. Slapping against ass cheeks. I heard.
I can't play no more. I can't play.
All the champagne was spiked, son. Like all the champagne was spiked. Everybody was passed the fuck out. I don't drink, so I was playing that shit off like I don't fucking drink. I smoke, nigga. Like I smoke, and I had my own.
So I just
everybody was passed out. Yo, Diddy had that, man.
I got a confirmed message that was not Meek Mills. That the audio has been doctored, and all right. So I just
audio's been okay. So
I got to confirm just from a trusted source that was not Meek Mills. Confirmed. But for me, I initially thought, like, I was like, hey man, but yeah, somebody said that was
So what you're saying is this guy right
here is lying. That's his old security guard, right?
You're saying his security guard is lying.
Yeah, they said dude got fired, and he doing what disgruntled employees do. I got some employees that'll probably talk shit about me too.
Sounds pretty corporate America to me. sounds pretty play it by the book to me. Hey, hold on. Did your mind just change on this, Mondale?
I literally got the message while we were playing the video. So from a trusted
Mondale too famous. He got too many fucking experts at his will.
A trusted source. Well, we get to use it for our benefit. We get to use it for our benefit.
No, it is what it is. Well, how about this right here? Here's all I have to say. Jay-Z, to me, right now, is innocent until proven guilty. Diddy, like, and I feel bad because y'all don't know.
I don't feel bad. I saw a video
no,
of Diddy treat
wait.
that woman like
Let
trash.
me finish what I gotta say. I feel bad because Diddy was about to make a move for black cannabis that a lot of people have no idea. Like Diddy, like as messed up as Diddy obviously is, Diddy really cared about our community. And Diddy bought, I think I want to say over 30 cannabis dispensaries across the nation, and was taking them from white ownership to black ownership, whether he owned it or he was giving it to a black person or releasing it to a black person for ownership. That's what Diddy was doing. And he was guaranteeing black ownership in the cannabis industry. And then as soon as he started getting legway in it, all this went down. Now, he ain't helped me. Like I got my own shit, but like I do have to give Diddy, I guess, props where props are kind of due. So I do feel bad about that. That takes nothing away from his negative actions. Diddy, like, to be honest with you, man, like cheesecake is a problem. He's been a problem, and we all know that. And we ain't gonna go into too much conspiracy theory, but he's one of the reasons why, if not the reason why, Biggie and Pac are killed. Unalived. I said it.
Can I go off the script a little bit? Because I feel like I owed it. This is not really anything, but if any of y'all were original listeners of me being in Marcus during COVID, then you know that Mondale sometimes rant about stuff that's not connected to what we're talking about at the moment. But I feel like it's also prevalent because I don't like feeling duped. I'm a person of a person that I consider I consider myself to be like steadfast on progressive policies and also black issues. I gotta tell people, past couple years I've been taking paychecks from TYT. At this moment, I feel disgusted by that, dog. I don't like where TYT is right now. TYT is starting to act like, and listen, I'm telling people right now, I have not severed my relationship with TYT. I'm being a buck. So what I'm saying right now might just end that relationship.
Whoa.
No, I'm sorry, I gotta say.
It's the anniversary night, nigga. We're not doing a relationship ending shit tonight. No. I'm with my family and I'm talking to our extended family. I don't really know what's going on over there, dog. Like I don't know if they had some kind of meeting or was it the Christmas party or what, where they decided that, yo, we need to do what the fuck Joe Scarborough did that cost them so many viewers, to say that we're gonna cover Trump, Anna, and Jink showing up in the way they showing up. Yo, it ain't worth for me. I'm never gonna be quiet. So if they say, okay, you can't be on our shows no more, then I don't give a damn, because I'm not gonna be quiet about the way that they're showing up right now. You took too much. How are they showing up, Mondale?
Like MAGA, like an extension of damn Trump. Like, bro, you need to this idea that these people ain't white supremacists, like normalizing Trump supporters as if they ain't fucking racist, dog. I am not okay with this. I'm not gonna be good with Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski or Jink or Anna or anybody pretending that these people aren't threatening our lives. I'm a black person first. They can keep that money for them videos. I'll go back to kissing my wife and not having it create videos in the afternoon. I don't care. It's not what I'm not comfortable. We should all be mad. That was the last beacon other than Democracy Now! And Free Speech TV. I'm talking about real progressive media. Y'all took too much money from the ethos. Y'all took too much money with too many billions of views to be doing what y'all doing right now. So I don't know who offered you a check or which check you're trying to get. But I'm disgusted by it as a contributor and a person who helped grow Rebel HQ, another money source for y'all, to over 1 million followers, dog. I average 30 million views a year on Rebel HQ myself. None of those views join my personal YouTube channel or nothing. So the pennies that they give me is not enough to make me sell my soul. I don't know what's going on. And if y'all are cool with it, I need to question y'all bona fides. And I'm not talking about YouTube personally. I'm talking about everybody who say they're part of the Squirrel Gang, the Dragon Squad. I need to know what's going on. We should be asking these questions, dog. And we shouldn't be asking these questions with questions. We should be asking these questions with the lack of subscriptions.
That's right.
That's right. In that manner, I don't give you enough to pay nobody's bill, but I subscribe at $100 a month. That's a big level from one person when you got over 1 billion views. I cannot spend that $100 a month to TYT. As long as they're acting as if Donald Trump followers aren't the people, the same people who are trying to kill me and my wife. And that is not hyperbole. I live in a segregated world because I'm still getting death threats. The FBI had to get involved to get me my email back because I was hacked by these people. In real life, in this cycle, I've never thought I would say thank you to an FBI agent. The FBI agent called me and was like, you're in danger. Your wife can't travel by herself. So these people, and out of love and respect for my wife, I'm obligated to do it today. I'm asking real questions. Jake, Anna, and also TYT. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah, matter of fact, let me pull up because I think Jank might be subtweeting us on Twitter right now because he just started talking some stuff about the opportunities that he gave people and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Man, if he is subtweeting us, he better not be talking about the opportunities he gave me because you ain't made my life different. Like I don't even send my invoices in regularly. They have to force me to send my invoices in.
Me too, dog.
What are we talking about?
All right,
I want to have this conversation.
As the only person who hasn't been like invited to that platform on our platform, my question is real simple, man. Like, well, actually, my statement is real simple, bruh. If they questioning your life, homeboy, you already know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? So my thing is, for our viewers who have not watched that, could we get some exacts? And maybe we can like put that and compile that into like what exactly, because I like TYT. I'm over here like, I hate to be like this, but I'm over here like kind of innocent. Whenever I turn on TYT, I see some shit that I like. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, because I don't watch them every day, all day. I don't watch.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about TYT. I mean, there are great progressive ideologies on TYT, right?
Generally speaking, yes.
But you cannot disconnect TYT from Jink and Anna's behavior since this election happened.
That's right.
So this is specific talking points that
these ain't talking points, but they doing videos, creating content, talking about, well, I met one person who changed my heart. He's a Trump voter, and he wasn't like, I don't care about that, dog. We know what's going on. There have been real thought leaders, people who are professors at college who White Rural Rage was written this election cycle. And those brothers who wrote that, two white professors from the University of Maryland and other spaces, and yeah, so let's just leave it there, who articulated what it means to be a Trump supporter. I'm not okay with it, dog. And I think this idea that saying or calling white supremacy is equated to calling yourself closed-minded is wrong. We don't want TYT to be closed-minded. Where's the energy you had before the election outcome? Why now is it not okay to call fascism fascism? Why now is it not okay to call these people who won't even question or saying that J6ers are heroes and hostages? Why is
Mondale and Anna, like Anna's doing this though,
Anna's father going.
And yeah, Anna's leading the way in it. Hang on, I'll pull up a.
Wow, bro, really?
Yeah, they really. This is triangulation that's going on, man.
I'm sorry, I'm new to this one, so y'all have to.
Well, you've been out, you've been out of the mix a little bit. Let's see. Let's get her interview on Glenn Beck, for example.
Crazy.
But what it is it's this triangulation. Hang on, here it is. I got a good clip right here. Let's lift up this. This is Anna on Anna on Glenn Beck. And let's play it. Let me know if y'all can hear it.
You know, it's strange. I was just talking to, or you're a traitor.
Or you're a traitor, exactly. Yeah. Or a grifter.
I think, you know, one of the things, I love that one.
Yeah.
Do you have hope that there's been a sea change? We're at the very beginning of it, but you know, it's strange. I was just talking to Donald Trump. I was doing a fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago a couple of days ago, and I said, I think we're like the cool kids now. I've never been at the cool kids table.
This is wild.
Or you're a traitor.
Or you're a traitor, exactly.
Let me read.
Yeah. Or a grifter.
I think.
Hang on, hold that one. I got to find the complete clip. That's not.
You ain't got to find too much more. The fact that she went on Glenn Beck is too much, dog. Let's be clear there. We know who Glenn Beck is. The world knows. So this idea that you're trying to introduce yourself to this audience or reintroduce yourself or reimagine who you are and how you show up in these spaces is.
Wait a minute, Mondale, I got a little bit of pushback, and I get this from my sister, Tesla Figueroa, right? And y'all can feel how you want to, but she said something very important to me. And she said something all the time. The platform, what I say on the platform ain't the platform. I bring my message to the platform. So my thing is this right here. I don't give a fuck about what platform you're on. I didn't hear enough of what she said. What did she say? Like just being on Glenn Beck is different. If you're going on Glenn Beck and cussing his ass out.
Talking about individuals.
And I'm not trying to make up for nobody. I'm just
listen, Marcus, listen.
All right.
Here we go.
In reality, we're talking about individuals whose politics is mostly based on, you know, some fringe issue or some cultural issue that they have. It's not just that they care about that issue. It's that they've taken that issue and they've made it part of their identity, the core of who they are. And it's almost like what you would expect from religious zealots, you know? And so there's a fundamentalism involved in the way that they treat these issues. And there's no room to negotiate. There's no room.
She's talking about the left.
To maybe consider the thoughts and concerns of individuals. And so as they become more and more kind of like authoritarian in what they demand, they are pushing people away. And there are some issues in which the rights of one group might actually end up conflicting with the rights of another group, depending on what type of legislation you're pursuing. And so, of course, this has come up with the trans issue. And I've always been supportive of the transgender community, but when the rights of transgender people, particularly transgender women, start to cause some tension with the rights and freedoms of women or the perceived safety of women, well, let's have a conversation and avoid assuming the worst of the people who want to have that conversation.
White women are in danger. Bro, listen, let me tell you something. This woman, that statement in itself is so dangerous. And that ain't even it. Like if you just pull up some of the stuff she put on her Instagram, all of that, it's crazy enough, bro. I am disgusted with this willing to play games. And the fact that they're saying that we are zealots, we are religious zealots on the left. Come on,
to Glenn Beck, Glenn Beck, right? The king of religious zealotry in conservative media, right? Here's the issue. Like I hear what Teslin says about, you know, what she takes to the platform, and I respect that. I probably would jump on just about any platform, but I'm going to go there on a war path, right? That's why I don't get invited to be conservative media. If you get invited to conservative media, that's because they know you're going to play ball with them, and we've seen that. Now, there's another clip. I have to go. Give me a second. I'll find it of Cenk recently on with Tim Pool, right? Tim Pool, who's taking his $100,000 per episode from Vladimir Putin. But it's it's not that they're going on these platforms, it's that they're going on these platforms and they're trying to make nice with people who are literally trying to destroy not only democracy, because some people don't care about democracy. I do, but they're also actively trying to destroy the lives of 20 million of the migrant working class. Right? Let's not talk about all the everyone they're going to what they're doing with Obamacare, what they're doing with Social Security, what they're doing with Medicare, what they're doing with Medicaid. That's just the surface of it. The 50% of federal employees they're getting ready to boot out. You know how many black people that's going to hurt, right? So they're going to platforms making nice with people who have the most nefarious intentions for us at the moment. And thank you for saying it the way you did, Mundell. At the precise moment when we need progressive media on lock. We need progressive media hitting on all cylinders. And we got them instead over there trying to make nice with Glenn Beck and Tim Pool and all the rest of them. For what? For why? For clicks?
Yeah, for clicks. Of course. Ben, I want to ask both of you guys a question real quick. And this is not meant to like play devil's advocate. This is actually meant to like, I want both of us, all of us to think about this for 1 second. The Young Turks, CNN, a lot of organizations right now, mainstream media, have normalized the fundamental problems of race in America. They have normalized it to the point where when you talk about it anymore, even if you talk about it on Fox News, a Fox News subscriber is going to be like, of course the black people are saying that. Of course the handicapped community is saying that, right?
2-second break.
Taking advantage.
2-second commercial break. Come here.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Nah, no, you got to bring her in your face.
Hang on. Let's do it.
Bring her over. There you go.
Hey, happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Cheers. Happy anniversary, yo. That's awesome.
Hey, happy anniversary, sis.
That's awesome.
Go ahead, y'all.
Yo, no. Hey, congratulations to both of you. What I'm saying is this right here. There's a certain freedom that a lot of leftists feel right now, to feel like, you know what, we've talked to, like, you know, our fundamental issues, healthcare, black people problems, right? And then all of a sudden, after 2020, there's been an addition of, oh, now we're talking about trans.
Hold on. I gotta go further. We need to clip this. What I'm about to say.
Okay, but
hold on. I want you to land it. I want you to land your plane. But right now, my soul is saying I gotta do this.
All right, go ahead.
As an anniversary gift to me and my wife, if you are watching this show right now and you subscribe to TYT, unsubscribe, and you need to get a paid subscription to Ben Dixon right now. If you love us, if you're serious about progressive policies, and you won't just do it, you will screenshot me saying this and tag Jink in it, and Anna in it, and TYT in it, and Rebel HQ, and share it. Because progressives cannot become Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party and the establishment, because when we do that, we become unsalty. And Ben Dixon can tell you what it means when the salt of the world loses its salt.
When the salt loses its savor. Listen, I wasn't going to directly say send your subscriptions to me, but I also ain't going to miss the blessing that Mundell set up. But I will say this: wherever you send your subscriptions, I can tell you the majority report ain't moved an inch from their values. That's good ground. You can sow a majority.
That's a very fair point.
The Vanguard, them two cool white boys over at the Vanguard, they haven't moved from their values, right?
Ben Dixon.
At the expense of my own well-being. I've never moved from my values, man. I've walked away from many opportunities. Ask Sean King. I walked away before I would betray my values. We need left-leaning media now more than ever. And if TYT is not going to be that, then you need to end your subscriptions and send it to folks who going to hold the line, who's going to look at these fascists in their face and say, if you're going to take anybody, take me first. That's the only attitude to have right now.
Hold on. There's only one thing I have to say, man. I'm not even trying to go against anything that's going on. We need to talk about the attitude of how we got here. And I'm asking that question for a reason. How did we get to a point where a motherfucker feel comfortable with siding with people who want to, like,
Marcus,
make
you
it
know,
easy?
you went to Florida A&M, one of the, if not the smartest. I don't care what people say. And I went to 2 HBCUs and none of them were FAMU. One of the smartest historical black colleges. You know why Harriet Tubman had a gun. It won't just be white folks. It won't just be it was for them Negroes that was supposed to be running with us that were willing to go back because their feet were hurting.
Oh yeah, Master got chicken cooking tomorrow.
Look, because think about it. If you really, thank you for setting it up just like that. Think about it. Like, her one gun wasn't going to do a whole lot against all the white guns that would have came up against her. But you know what it did? It solved the problem of them Negroes who was a problem trying to get free. There's always going to be a subset of us, whether it's in the black community, we got them in the black community. The same folks who sold us out on the west coast of Africa in the first place, same folks who sold out Harriet Tubman in the first place. All these people in our history, they in present today.
Hold on, Ben. I'm busy right now. Hold on, Ben. I'm busy right now. Do you, Ben? I'm asking you questions directly. Do you have a paid subscription like TYT, a website where people can go? Because it's timeout. I'm saying I'm calling timeout, and people should know I have no financial gain from Ben Dixon. I get no money from Ben Dixon. I do get money from TYT. Do you have a website or where people can go for get subscriptions? And we need more from you. We need more content. We need you putting up more progressive voices. It is time out for people that are willing to sell us out. We got to tell them, not on our watch. Amy Goodwin can't do it by herself. Democracy now is not enough. It's not enough. Subscribe.
Patreon.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
Patreon.com/the BPD show. There we are on my Patreon page. I put us up last week. Patreon.com/the BPD show. And I mean, listen, high key, you're gonna get some high quality stuff.
I can't lie to y'all, man. I'm so like, I have saw your post, Mondale, about like the TYT folks, man, Sink and Anna, but I haven't watched it, and I'm gonna do my research because, like, to be honest with you, it just fundamentally doesn't make any sense for anybody to be an ally of us. I'm not a group think. First off, guys, anybody watching ClickBaity Political Thirst Trap, I am not a group thinker. I think on my own as a grown ass man, right? And I am fundamentally surprised that these two who have championed a lot of issues, even of race, that would like kind of dismiss a whole movement. I'm not even gonna lie, but if it really happened, that shit is problematic. So go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, because here's what it is, though. It's the fact that there's a couple things. If you watch the main show, you're still going to get some decent progressive politics, right? You're going to get enough progressive politics for you to not really be completely aware of what's going on. If you listen to Anna and Jake on social media, on Twitter, on their Instagrams, if you listen to their little videos, if you listen to the interviews that they're doing in other places, you see them actively making nice with the very people who are going to be destroying this country in a very short order. And they're doing it. And they're doing it. Go ahead.
Being what you said, I'm announcing right now, I will do no more work. I don't know why. Something just said, I will do no more work with TYT, though. In its current capacity, I will.
Oh, wow, bro.
No more content. I will be on no more shows. It's over for me. Like, something just told me I have to say that, and I need to put it on Twitter. I need to text Jink and Anna. Y'all can't call me for no more shows. I'm done with it.
What?
Yeah, in real life.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Damn, that's 100.
I love Dr.
Son,
Richie.
what?
Somebody said, "What about Dr. Richie?" That's the only reason I have.
fucking buck,
That's
man.
the only reason I have tears in my eyes because I love Dr. Richie.
Shout out
But
to Dr. Richie.
I love Dr. Richie more than I love the ground that I feel that I need to stand on in this point. Dr. Richie is a super strong will and will be for successful in everything. He got a million jobs for a reason. But this right now is me saying I divorce TYT in his current iteration. And if it means I'm never going to be in relationship with those people again, I accept that. But it's over at this point.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right. So let me lighten the mood real quick. The state of Oklahoma decided that they want to make sure that a lawmaker in Oklahoma, I think you have this, Ben. A lawmaker in Oklahoma decided that he wanted to enforce praying for Donald Trump as a mandatory religion in the state of Oklahoma. Do you have that? You have that article?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull this up one second.
I don't want to minimize what you just said. Hey,
right.
ClickBaity viewers, guys. Mayor Mondale. I'm sorry, my brother. Mayor Mondale makes like real serious moves for his people. So I think y'all need to like listen to that right there. If Mondale is off that, it probably should be off that. So I'm automatically off that, bruh. I don't know what made like how hard you feel about it, but that's strong, man.
Yeah, Mondale, I got one, man. One, I want to thank you for having. I mean, I always knew you were a principal brother, but if there's nothing else I know about y'all two brothers on the screen, y'all are some principal brothers, just as principled as I am, and that's why we rock together. It's also why we fell apart, but then we came back because we were like, we're gonna keep it 100, right? We no matter what, we always kept it 100 with each other, and now we're here. And what you just did, man, it speaks volumes because here's the nuance, y'all. This is what I need people to realize. You got to recognize when the ship is turning directions. You can't wait till it has completely turned directions. TYT is shifting. It is shifting because the captain and the co-captain are shifting. Jake and Anna are shifting, and they're doing the same thing that all of these other people. Glenn Greenwald did the same thing. I don't know if y'all know Glenn Greenwald and from the Intercept, but Glenn Greenwald used to be safely on the left with progressive politics, and then he slowly but surely started floating out all of these right-wing talking points, and now he's fully aligned with the fascists on the right, right? TYT is headed in that direction, not because of John Iadarola, not because of Dr. Rashad Ritchie, not because of the staff, not because of JR, none of them. It's because of Jank and Anna. And they have made they've made the decision that this is the direction that they want to take their company. And so, folks can stay there and wait until it's already fully fleshed out and it's already fully manifested. Or you could see what's happening right now and take a principled stand. And that's what Mondale just did. So I salute you, brother. And I pray plenty of opportunities for you to I know you're not, hurting or wanting for anything, but also for your voice to just be heard. And so I pray that doors open up for you so that your voice could go even further than what it went with TYT.
Man, we opened up them doors for him.
Well, so I do want to say I do want to say one thing because like I was on mute because I was having a conversation with my wife over here because I didn't run that by her. You know what I'm saying? Like this is our household, and you know what I'm saying? She just looked at me and she like, hell yeah, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Because she know who I am. She know who I am, and a lot of the times I tweet on that monument. I didn't run it past my wife. I told her don't be in North Carolina the day I did that, and she wasn't there. And I just went there and did it, and I didn't tell her I was going to do it. So sometimes I do shit that affects both me and my wife without asking her, not because I'm sexist or I want to show up in that manner, but because I feel like I can't look at her in the face if I'm lying to me. So I'm glad you're not upset.
Thank you, Sister Mondale. Thank you, Sister Robinson.
Hey man, hold on.
Mondale,
bro, on the real, as a person who knows you, man, I didn't know that shit meant so much to you. I didn't. Like I'm a little awestruck that you would do that, especially after our last like show, right? So I guess you know me. So are there people at the like the network? Yeah, because you told me to have conversations straight up, right? Are there people at the network that are gonna mess with you? Is this gonna be a thing? Like, do you see that? Like, do you foresee issues? Like what? Like after this kind of like statement, what happens? Because TYT is a big thing, and Sinking Out are powerful people. You know what I mean?
Hey, that power. Well, I mean, come on. Like, I mean, no. Let me be quiet. Mondale, you speak.
I think for me, you know, I mean, we watched, all three of us, you two with me, have been through it. Y'all were there through COVID, through all that stuff, and I mean, somebody's probably gonna say something. Somebody at the internet, they're gonna have something to say. All of them, you know what I'm saying? And there are people over there that I have relationships with, right? Rashad Ritchie, they're on the screen right now, actually. JR, John, and Francesca. But at what expense, right? Like, I felt like when I said it, maybe something just like the house. The fame has never been a thing for us, right?
Yeah.
The fame has never been a thing for us. So 20 million views a year, 30 million views a year is a lot. If it's what you're chasing. If I wanted that, I would have spent the last 20 years moving myself up the Democratic Party establishment.
That's
but
right.
Intentionally, I started Black Male Voter Project outside the party and refused a check from them because I need to be able to say what I need to say. And I felt like I didn't know if I was lying to myself or lying to the people that listen or like my post on Instagram when I wasn't keeping it true, or Twitter. So Marcus, when you say you saw my tweets about it, it was me responding to them. It was never me being proactive about leftists and what it means to be a left. And that didn't sound like, I have a picture of, this picture has been in my house for, I don't know how many years. This person is not related to me. This is Malcolm X as a young boy.
Yep. Fact.
How am I being honest to somebody?
Omaha, Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska, who cut short his time with his kid, all of his kids, for Black people. If I'm allowing Jink and Anna to go to bed with racist people that mean to kill Black folk.
Literally, with the people who are right now celebrating Daniel Penny. This is who they're like. It's one thing. Okay, you know what? If you got good politics on your show, but then you go and get in bed with folks who are literally celebrating someone like Daniel Penny, the same people who every year they attack George Floyd all over again, the same people who look at our dead, our fallen, our martyrs, and they mock them, they humiliate them, they disdain them, they lie about them. These are the people that you're going to get in bed with, and for what reason and for what cause? More than anything else, we gotta have leftist media right now that is swinging a big bat, right? We can't have people who's cuddling up with these folks. Go ahead, man.
And also influencing laws.
Right.
Like our media influences laws. Right?
That's right.
Like that's that. Like don't ever forget that. Like the right media influences laws. These people aren't that smart to go up to DC and create these crazy ass laws like you got to worship Donald Trump or you got to like. These people are influencing laws. So if TYT is slowly turning into, and y'all have to excuse me, I'm registering this shit as
we speak.
Yeah, as you guys speak. If TYT, the leftist medium that like I trusted to even like while I was on Bernie's campaign, come up with ideas for what I could tell Bernie, that's TYT to me. If they're like turning, no, they're not like turning. My partner just my partner just told me. Man, my partner just told me exactly what the deal is. I can't rock with them because, like, they influence left politics. So that means that if the most leftist media, man, y'all subscribe to ClickBaity, Political Thirst Trap. Y'all subscribe to Ben Dixon. Like, y'all subscribe to like Sabby Sabs. Try her out. Like, y'all subscribe to the folks that are actually doing some real work, bro, because those guys I can't. Mondale, I'm proud of you, bro.
Yeah, man.
I am, bro.
Nah, man. That's huge. And again, you know, dog, you're so thorough in terms of your position on this. But I do pray that your voice gets amplified, right? Because we need it amplified. And I'm gonna be honest with you, we don't only just need leftist media right now. We genuinely need leftist media, but we need Black leftist media. We need Black voices to take the helm and take the lead, because there are not just nuances to these conversations, but there's principal stands. I'll put it like this: if you want to see authenticity, you're going to find it on our platforms, because we don't do this for money. I don't think there's anybody on the screen who's doing this for money. We do this as a ministry. We do this for survival. We do this for our life. We do this for our people. We would not do it even if they did. We're not getting paid for this time right now. We do it because it needs to be done. We do it because we like each other. We love each other. We like hanging out with each other. But the fact of the matter is that if we don't speak up, who is? And so y'all need to invest in Black leftist media. And I appreciate all of the other platforms. I do. And I'm going to always support all of my white brothers. Shout out to Matt, the letter hack, who helped bring us back together. Shout out to him, right? Yeah, give it up for him. And if he needs some subscribers, y'all go subscribe to him too. But quiet as it's kept, y'all, much of the fight that we are in right now, the champions that you need are Black voices. Marcus Farrell, Mondale Robinson, Ben Dixon, Anoa Changa. You got Dr. Carl Mack. You got Rebecca Azor, who's out there killing it on Leftist Mafia. You got DJ Exclusive. You got Georgia Ford out in Minneapolis doing what she does. You have all these Black voices. And again, I will always give a shout out to Dr. Rashad Ritchie. I got to give that brother a shout out, because I know that they ain't going to ever be able to touch his character or make him bend any way, kind of form or fashion. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if you want people who are going to jump into the fight once more, into the breach, dear friends, once more, it's going to be Black folks who ain't got nothing to lose but everything to gain. And that's why we're on the front line right now.
You all right, Mondale?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm good, man. Listen, bro, we do what we do. You know, we do what we do.
Yeah, you all right, man, for real.
We love you, man.
It's like I'm saying I'm putting people that love me in awkward positions. Dr. Ritchie loves me, right? Sharon Reed loves me. JR, John, those people love me, but they also have families that they need to feed, and those jobs are important. So I put those people in. This move puts them in a position where they have to watch people in that space talk shit about me from this point forward, and not say anything.
But honestly, bro, what the fuck can a nigga say about you? Excuse my language, man. But what can somebody say about you? Like, if you see a problem, you address a problem. We from a certain place, man. I know that Mama Robinson, and I know that Rosetta watching this show right now, bro. I think she probably already texted me. Like, so what they gonna say? So my question is, like, my only concern is, like, how much bro, behind the scenes.
We know the drama. We know.
Yeah.
We handle drama. We got that.
We know it's coming.
Okay.
We know it's coming.
As long as you ready, bro.
But I will say again, though, now y'all have to forgive me, but you know, all respect to the millions of people who have supported TYT over the last 2 decades. But and as it pertains to drama, of course, you have the professional drama contracts and whatnot. In Mondale, we know that you professional, you know how to handle all that. But in terms of like social media drama, they don't want that. They don't want the exchange of words. So I don't think that that's anything that we have to be concerned about. They may try, but it won't end well for them, because Jank ain't carrying that much weight on Twitter no more. Only thing he really, and this is the thing that trips me up. His highest performing tweets at this point are the ones that are supported by MAGA. If you look at what Jank is saying on social media right now, he is promoted and prompted and propped up by MAGA more than the left. And so, he'll have all the people from MAGA, talking trash, but
wait, guys,
they ain't nothing for us anyway.
Hold on. Is there anybody else calling this out besides us? I don't have a problem if it is.
Oh, listen.
Here's what I'll say. People without platforms, this is why I feel obligated to do this in this moment, Marcus. The left, the strong left, the real left, these ain't people with platforms, these ain't people with consultant jobs. If you go on Twitter, if you go down those threads, the left is upset. They're saying what it is. These people are keeping it a buck, like y'all are disgusting for what y'all are doing. Yeah. And I applaud them people allowing me to know that Ben, you, and me are not alone in this space. I see people doing it regularly, and that to me was like, one, stop calling yourself a leader, Mundell, if you're not leading, and still creating content, still waking up in the morning creating content to put dollars in Jink's pocket so he can now be on Pierce Brosnan, or I mean not Pierce Brosnan, sorry. He would probably be upset.
Chris Morgan, yeah,
Pierce Morgan. So, to be on that show, and it's like I see this regular rotation that you're seeking for, and that's not what I thought TYT was about.
That's right.
That's not what
that's right.
So I mean, are they explaining themselves to like I'm actually asking for some background information.
They're literally normalizing Trump.
I'm talking about within the network because there's way too many progressives, like real.
I think, they think that they are going to be able to maintain their subscriber base. And see, this is where I don't. This is where somebody said this to my dad in church one time. He said, "Business is business." Okay, business is business. TYT controls a substantial share of the subscriber base that's available to leftist media. If TYT is not going to hold the line for leftism and progressivism right now when we need them the most, they need to lose that market share. And so I will very publicly say that every person who is a subscriber to TYT until Jank and Anna boycott TYT until they change their ways. My apologies to all of our friends over there. I absolutely love and adore Dr. Rashad Ritchie. I always wanted to hang out and read comic books with John Iadarola. There's a producer in the back end. I can't think of his name, but he always does like the weekend show, who's just the coolest dude. I absolutely love JR and the rest of them. But if Jank and Anna, who are the leaders of this media company, are going to continue to push their way into the loving embrace of MAGA when MAGA is trying to destroy democracy, destroy immigrants, destroy Black people, destroy women, destroy the LGBTQIA community, destroy the disabled community. If they're going to do that, if those are going to be your new friends, then we need to remove that subscriber base. They feel confident that they can maintain it, and we need to prove them wrong.
Brett, listen, people name Brett. Brett is a truth. Brett is a truth teller.
Brett, I couldn't think of his name. I love that brother.
Brett and I, we were on the show together. We co-hosted the main show, and we had to deal with some Zionist ideas, and we did it. And it wasn't. I mean, I just know. Plus, also, what people don't know is there are producers like Helena, who's my producer at TYT, who has not heard this information. She'll hear it tomorrow because I'm going to call her and text her.
But, no, she heard it already, bro.
Yeah. So. But yeah, guys, and I mean, yeah. And also, I want TYT to know that I don't need the last few checks. The ones that I haven't sent invoices for, donated to the whales.
Yeah. We're ending this show now.
We'll pick up that next story next week, man.
Yeah. Well, I do want to talk about Oklahoma and how they're. That was strong, Mondale. You know what? Yeah. Let's do the last story and then we can get up on out of here because I think this is important. So in Oklahoma, the superintendents of schools tried his.
I pray in particular for President Donald.
Let's just watch the film. But the superintendent of schools decided that he wanted to make sure it was necessary, mandatory for students in Oklahoma to worship Donald Trump every single day. Y'all watch this right here.
Teachers and kids. Dear God, thank you for all the blessings you've given our country. I pray for our leaders to make the right decisions. I pray in particular for President Donald Trump and his team as they continue to bring about change to the country. I pray for our parents, teachers, and kids that they get the best education possible and live high quality lives. I also pray that we continue to teach love of country to our young people and that our students understand what makes America great and that they continue to love this country.
So Mr. Walters decides that he
reports that
wants
some
to make
schools are
sure
refusing
that the state, his whole state, he's statewide elected, that the children of the state, a mandatory prayer. You know how I used to pray, do the Pledge of Allegiance every morning? You have to have a prayer. That means that you have to have a Christian ideology to Donald Trump every single morning. And I think that might be a little bit off. But as I said in my tweet earlier, I think that this is where we are. I'm never going to be a person because I do criticize Democrats a lot, but I do understand the fascism that the Trump administration actually brings about. And the reason why I bring this up is because this is what happens to me when you allow bad campaigns and a fascist strongman to actually become the real thing. So we are living in this environment right now where there are people in your state who are willing to make it, even if you're not Christian, they're willing to make your kid pray to the president. What y'all fellas feel about that?
I mean, look, for certain, the story is that he is forcing teachers to play that prayer that he made, right? That's just the first part, though. There's another part. He has allocated $6 million of Oklahoma taxpayer money in order to purchase 55,000 Bibles. And I want you to take a quick guess, Marcus. I'm sure, Mandel, you already know. There's only one Bible in existence that meets the qualifications that he put out.
It needs to be brown leather. It needs to have the Constitution, and it was made by Donald Trump.
That's the so he has now committed $6 million to purchasing Donald Trump Bibles that are now going to be flooded throughout all of the classrooms in the state.
Is that taxpayer money?
That's taxpayer money. This is what is it? This is a tribute. This is fealty and a tribute. This is him saying, we recognize you as our new king, and here's $6 million that you can get from Oklahoma taxpayer dollars through a Bible with Donald Trump's signature on it. I mean, the level of blasphemy is deep here.
And it's beyond deep because it has, like, the Bible is leather wrapped, whatever, supposedly leather. We're probably leather, knowing Donald Trump and his.
It's definitely fake leather.
But we're talking about like almost $100 a Bible, right? When we know that there's organizations that probably would have donated those Bibles to the school
for free,
if that really was your cause, for free. So the idea that you're spending $6 million, not on the schools. Oklahoma has some of the worst school systems in this country. That's right.
Number 44 out of 50.
Right, and you're spending $6 million not on the students, but on Bibles that were created by Donald Trump to make money.
Hey, Ben, do you know a Christian index of how much of the population is Christian per state, like rank wise? Like, I'm pretty sure it's like Mississippi and then Oklahoma, and then like I would love to know what the percentage of Christians are in each state, and then I would also like to know how they vote when it comes down to the Christian issues. Because if this is normalized where a Christian would allow a prayer towards another deity, besides,
listen,
I mean,
Baptist,
you're the pastor here, Pastor, tell me how that works, man. You got to tell me how that works because I'm a little concerned about that.
Yeah, so
79% of the population of Oklahoma identify as Christianity or Christians. Go ahead, Ben.
No, you're right on it. Like the number I have is 81. That's when the margin of error. You're right. Mississippi is the number one, 89%. Alabama, 87%, 86%, 85%. Right. And this, but so two things. One, this is the whole reason why you. If I could do this, the incoming regime in Syria, Jalani is his name. He's formerly Al Qaeda, and so everybody was afraid of him. But one of the assurances that he has given, and one of the assurances that he has upheld so far, is the protection of minorities and minority groups. In Syria, Christians are the minority groups, and so he's protecting them, and that's so far so good. We don't know how it's going to play out in the long run, but I bring this up to say, in the United States of America, it's crazy that you are going to be forced to violate your own religion or your lack of religion when over in Syria, someone who's formerly Al Qaeda has enough sense to know that the only way he could get a rebellion force strong enough was to be inclusive. But in the United States of America, we're losing track of that. So as Syria is getting ready to head away from the religious fascism of like ISIS and Al Qaeda, right, with guarantees to protect Christians in Syria, the United States is going in the opposite direction. And so, to your point about the deities, here's the thing. I think about the Christian students who are going to be forced to do these prayers for Donald Trump, and I do see that as idolatry worship, right? But you gotta understand, most of these kids come from households that worship Donald Trump anyway. So they're not even going to feel like there's anything wrong with it. They're just going to continue in that indoctrination and that false idol worship, and they're going to dig themselves deeper and deeper and deeper into this religious cult that doesn't really worship Jesus. They worship Donald Trump.
Are they automatically going to go to hell? Come on, Pastor. Just say,
I didn't
going
put
to
that
hell.
on the screen. I didn't realize I had my website on the screen. I was just talking. Hang on. Are they going to hell? I think they're going to hell for a lot more reasons than that, right? I think they're going to hell because they have redefined what Jesus is, right? They believe that Jesus will not care for the poor. They believe that Jesus would not heal the sick. They believe that Jesus would not be merciful and be kind. Like we literally have pastors who, when they preach the Sermon on the Mount, they've had members come up to them and say, yeah, that doesn't work today. That's too kind. That's too nice. So I think there's just a long list of reasons that these folks are digging their way. Matter of fact, I can confidently say, like, just based on my time that I've spent with the Lord over the last 4 years in particular, there's going to be plenty of atheists, agnostics, LGBTQIA, trans people. There's going to be so many people in heaven. And you know who you're not going to see? A whole long list of MAGA. Why? Because of what they do to the least of these. Jesus is preeminently concerned about what you do to the least of these. What you do to the least of these, how many times you go to church on a Sunday morning does not trump what you do to the least of these.
So as much as I've talked about the Democratic Party and that campaign that we just went through, let me officially say that this is the bad part about having the person who won. These guys all over the nation in all 50 states, matter of fact, all 50 states and our territories and our associates are going to start throwing things to the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's exactly what they did in this case. They threw something to a wall. You know what? Let's see if we can sneak this one by.
Yep.
Let's see if we can make every kid in the state be forced to
pray to Donald Trump.
To pray to Donald Trump. And the next thing is going to be, let's see if we can get every person in this state to agree to having a police state. Right? And
easy.
Those are the things that does concern me. My whole thing the whole time has been, how come the people who are on my side didn't recognize this and talk about it in an earlier fashion?
No. Oh, you're talking about Democrats?
Yeah, my side.
No, let me. This is my general take. You fellas are the system much better than me. But to me, it seems like the Democrats were too busy doing one of two things, right? Partying, drinking, and just having a good old time, like most people spend a lot of the time partying, drinking. But while we were, was that?
Sodom
Republicans do it too.
No. But the Democrats are Sodom and Gomorrah, and I'll tell you why. Put it away. Go ahead, Ben.
Ooh, I'm interested.
Right, but let's go one step further, right? So just don't get it twisted. Republicans are in that too. I think that's what you were saying, Marcus. Like Republicans are in that too. But watch this. Here's what Republicans do. Republicans go and plot. They go and meet to do. They go and meet, and they have been working on what they did to us for the last 50 years consistently. So every time they might be snorting cocaine over here, but they are most certainly making plans of how they could overthrow democracy and building out Project 2025. I feel like the reason our side didn't see it coming is because we're too in bed with corporate America in the first place, and number two, too in bed with everybody else just trying to have a good time, sleeping, drinking, smoking, and snorting everything else, and not paying attention to the fact that while you might be partying with Republicans, while you're hung over, they're at their secret meetings plotting to do everything they did to us. That's my conspiracy theory. I don't know.
Mondale.
Yeah, the reason I use Sodom and Gomorrah, Ben and Marcus, is simply, and also the folk that's watching us. Also, if you have not at this moment follow the Ben Dixon Show, please at this moment click subscribe and also like. It's because so many people will tell you that Sodom and Gomorrah was about homosexuality. Those people are infinite in their understanding of what the Bible was, because God sent his people to destroy that. He had already made a decision before the incident of rape happened. It's not about homosexuality, it was about rape. God sent some of his trusted messengers. Trusted messengers to warn these people of the destruction coming. I sent my trusted messengers, meaning, and this is why I said Democratic Party, my exiled consultants, my people not a part of your power structure, to warn you that Trump was coming back and could win. And you threatened them not with physical rape, and I don't want to minimize what rape means, but the proverbial of political rape, the what it means to be.
The word is grape from now on.
Great. Okay.
Yeah,
the word is okay. So the graping of outside consultants at the expense of those who are protected by the system, the partying that Ben talked about, the lavish lifestyle. The exploitation of people.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
The folk that will follow you if you talk about policies that's predicting or preventing them from having a full life. That's the reason that Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, not because of the incident that happened. That was icing on the cake. It wasn't even about homosexuality. It was the fact that you raped God's messengers.
Come on now. I've been waiting. I have not given this Bible study lesson, but you've already opened it up. So let's go into it, right? The book of Ezekiel makes it plain what the true sin of Sodom was. It was the idleness of the sons and the daughters of Sodom, right? And it was their lack of hospitality. And it was to your point, Marndale, let me ask you this and ask the audience this and ask Christians this. Would the rape have been okay if it was heterosexual?
No.
Exactly. But this is what Christians have been talking about since time immemorial, right? They make it about the the same-sex attraction, not a grape mob, right? Not a mob running around the city with no laws, no control, just think about how these militias want to run around America right now and want to forcibly deport. Think about all the war crimes that happen in wars where all the military, they go through and they not only bomb a city, but they also grape the women, right? It's when you have a lack of any civility and you have mobs running the street and there's nobody in the city. Not the women were there. None of the women of Sodom would stop them. None of the leadership, none of the men would stop them. Here was a grape mob running the streets, doing what they want. And here we are as Christians saying, well, the real problem isn't the fact that there was a rape mob. It was the fact that rape mob wanted to have homosexual sex. Do you know how twisted you have to be for your morality to stop there and say the problem in that picture is homosexuality, not the rape mob?
Man, it's a whole bunch of twisting. Like that, you have to actually like twist yourself into a coma. First, thank you for putting it in a religious aspect. Let's just put it in the blatant morality aspect. What's wrong with y'all niggas?
Yes. Yes.
Like for real and I'm not trying to even like I'm not better than y'all, but like if I'm a black man who used to be a fan of Biggie and back in the day, how can you normalize Grateful? I'm not a fan of Puffy. And I bring that up because we have, you know what it is? Ben Mondale, we have normalized silence.
Mm-hmm.
We've normalized not snitching in our community.
Yes.
We've normalized it. And everything that's bad within our community right now is considered acceptable. It's considered acceptable in the normalized. I want y'all to think about it. I'm not trying to go too deep, but just think about this for a second. Don't snitch. That means don't tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I can go down the list. Sex, however you want to view a part of it, is bad. Like everything about our community right now was advertised, and I'm talking about our community. I'm not talking about politics, because politics been this way for a long ass time. They don't like the white folks. The power people don't snitch on each other at all. The
Thanks.
Power people don't. There's so many people who can snitch on the Clintons. Have they said a word? Each one of us on the screen right now knows somebody who can snitch on the Clintons. I ain't trying to get y'all caught up, and Lord knows I don't want to read down your head. But what I'm saying is,
I went to law school in Arkansas. I can name 100 ones. So
right. So what I'm saying is, we've normalized all the negativity, and now it's creeping into our politics. It's already taken over the black community, but now it's creeping into our politics. And the only thing I have to say about that right there is that God is going in this right here.
Say again.
God is going.
Now I think God is making a comeback though. I think God is making a comeback because God has to, because because God's name is on the line. Because these people are using God's name in vain, and as this earth begins to be destroyed even more and destroyed, I mean literally, I'm not just talking about politically, spiritually, emotionally, I mean literally the destruction.
But then how come he keeps aiming the hurricanes at the wrong people?
Go ahead, Mark Mandel.
Well, here's what I was saying. Here's why I second the idea that God is making a comeback, because I remember what the most religious people did in Jesus' time. The Pharisees, right? Let's talk about those who prayed with their head down. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. So in this moment when we calling people evangelicals for spreading hate, we call them white evangelicals that support Republicans. These are the Pharisees. The Bible wrote about these people. These people have a documented history, and in the moment, in the exact now, they look like they're winning. But what we saw at the end was that Red Sea parted. That it parted, brother.
Come on, man. Look. All I got to say is that it's God. It's a couple reasons why, Marcus. Because if God don't do it, it ain't gonna be done, right? We really are behind here. We're down, right? They think they have us in checkmate. They almost have us in checkmate, right? The road back from here is so unlikely. The road back from here is so problematic and so fraught with just it's almost impossible that we really do need Deus Machina, right? We need a God out of the machine. We need an intervention, right? We need a divine. That's number one, because the odds are not in our favor. We need some help. So that's my prayer, my earnest plea. But the second thing is that God, the God I know is really big on God's reputation, and there's a lot of debate that we'll have to have with all my atheist friends. I love all y'all, and I know this, and we can go through all those.
Social media guy.
Yeah, but let me tell you something though, man. It's when they have now elevated someone above God, right? The very people who claim to be the biggest Christians on this planet are not only elevating Trump above God, but they're also moving in a way that is so damaging to God's name. But that's not even the last of it. The last of it is we're at an inflection point on this planet We're at a point where we're talking about whether or not humanity is going to survive in the long run, right? So the odds and the stakes are a lot higher than just, 2,000 years ago, in terms of the earth itself is at the brink of not being destroyed, but life on earth being destroyed. So the odds are not in our favor, right? They've elevated someone above God, that's Donald Trump, and we're talking about an existential crisis for humanity. Yeah, I think that's right. That's right for some kind of divine intervention, or at least some aliens or something. Somebody got to step in and do something.
Go ahead. I was just about to say, if Donald Trump is God, then I hate.
Then we're in hell.
Yeah, then I hate that Elon Musk has to be like an archangel, and who? Then that means that we are the devil.
Right. Right. No, you're right.
But because you are a hip hop head, and Ben, you like hip hop too, I'm forced to remind you, Marcus, in a counter world where we learned that Terminator was the prequel for Matrix.
That's right.
People didn't know that. When we learned that Terminator was. When we learned this, and we understand hip hop, we know that Pastor Troy was not crazy when he said vice versa.
Oh, well,
vice versa, bro. Okay.
What are you saying to me right now?
Down South Georgia boys.
Oh, vice versa. What if God was Jesus and Jesus was God and Satan was Jesus? Vice versa. So if Donald Trump is their God.
Vice versa.
What if heaven was hell and hell was hell? Come on.
Yeah.
Listen, that we find ourselves in a vice versa existence. And we're obligated still to be true to the morals, because what the song said, when the people believe something different than what it really is, you are still obligated to stand 10 toes down in what the facts of your morals are. My morals tell me that equity still is my northern.
Equity. All right, guys. Before we go too far, we all have a Christian faith. That should be known to everybody here that's watching ClickBaity Political Thirst Trap. I'd like to actually have a conversation with our folks who are not turned down about Jesus and God and Christ and Christianity. We're actually speaking from a moral aspect, right? So like our moralities are based in Christianity, but our moralities are also based in their moralities themselves. I felt like I needed to say that because there are people who watch us who are adamantly against. Listen,
man. Here's why I have such a love for the atheist community, and they rock with me, generally speaking. Shout out to Dusty, the Cult of Dusty. I love his show. I love your work, Dusty. We're going to work together, whether you like me or not, as a pastor. But I digress. Truth of the matter is that, right, for the truest faith that we have in Christ, it requires us to transcend Christianity. It requires us to transcend the limitations that white evangelicals and Christian King James, all of the religious construct. Like, for us to truly believe it is something bigger than what humanity has put in constraints. Most of what people hate about religion, some of the same things that if you're a good Christian, you should hate about it too. So most of the things that turn people off to God, if you are a true Christian, that should turn you off too. Right? Because my atheist friends, one thing, if I don't know about nothing else about them, I know about this. They hold to the facts, they hold to truth, they hold to verifiable evidence, and they're willing to change their mind if they're presented with new evidence. Those are some of the number one problems with Christianity. And I got a problem with it too. And I'm telling you, I pray to Jesus about 5-6 times a day. And so I think that there's not as big a disconnect between true Christians and I don't mean that those folks aren't Christians. Yeah, they're Christian, but those of us who really look to the word for justice, we look to the word for truth, we look to the word for authenticity, we look to the word for equity, we look for the word for inclusion. And the thing is that all those other folks who are praying to Donald Trump right now, they do the exact opposite. So I certainly have much more in common with my atheist brothers and sisters than I do with white evangelicals all day.
And they don't. And it sounds like you honestly said that they're not Christian to you.
Well, I mean, because well, I think what happened.
No, wait.
Go ahead.
Heaven or hell again? Ben, you keep bringing up what you bring up.
Oh, listen, they will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Now, whatever you want to decide, heaven and hell. See, Christians really have Christians believe more in hell than they believe in the blood of Jesus. So I gotta have,
which really sounds to me.
He's right.
Listen,
right.
hold on, Marcus.
Believe in
I'm
hell.
about to agree with Ben.
Right.
I'm about to agree with Ben in normal terms, or in terms where people that ain't Christians can understand. So it really sounds like they care more about fire insurance
than living right, than living morally, than living just, than being kind. And so if anything they could do to convince themselves that they are good people without having to actually be good people, if they could just make sure they feel like, oh, well, I won't burn and go to hell, that means you believe more in hell than you do what Jesus was telling you to do. See, that's not the Christianity I got time for. I could live my life completely without the fear of hell whatsoever. I care less about hell. Hell, matter of fact, if I die and that's it, and there was nothing, that's cool with me too, right?
No, the best argument for Christianity was made by St. Augustine. Y'all know St. Augustine?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a random town south of Jacksonville.
St. Augustine said, if you don't believe in God, here's how you should define God. Humans are required to come from humans. So the first human that made another human is God. Trees are required to come from trees. The first tree that made a tree is God. So the definition of things that have to come from other things like it that made others should be a definition of, like, this is how broad God should be. And this is why I believe that the definition of Christianity is not people that say it.
Come on.
It is those who live it.
Live it.
Live it. Live it. And if you don't have space for people who question when we saw our God reward the person who wrestled with him all night with the whole nation, then you don't know my God. You don't know the origin story. You don't know what it means to be compassionate. You don't understand that English is so short, so minute in language that it had one word for love. I love my dog. I love my house. I love my car. I love my wife. But the word that it was transferred from had 4 or 5 different words. Copy. You know what I'm saying? Notes.
Stargate.
You understand what I'm saying? To love a person who wrongs you in the Bible is not used the same as agape. It's not. It's to say that I recognize your humanity. Go that way. I'm going this way. And I think people miss that. People are so young and dumb in their Christianity that we can't give them steak. We're required to give them Cambodian breast milk. Because it's all
cross the Brooklyn Bridge and go get it.
Go get it.
Hey, so I'm addressing our viewers again. Dog, it took us 3 years to have a complete Christian conversation on this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm actually very, very, very happy. Y'all might not, some folks might not like it, but I'm gonna tell you like this right here. All 3 of us were raised in a black church.
Wait, hold on. And is the history of our, because you're talking about the history of us, Darth Raptor is back reminding people that don't roast Mondale because he got time. You got a profile picture, I will roast your ass. If you try to roast me and you got no problem, I'm gonna excuse you. But I'm telling you, I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, we haven't got on nobody in a while. Back to my point before you interrupted me. We have not, like, I want to point this out. Longer term ClickBaity viewers know that we've gotten real ratchet on this channel, right? Like very ratchet on this channel. And we're not going to stop doing that. But I think this probably, and I'm going to ask you guys, this probably is the most organic Christian conversation that we've had ever, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think we've ever really talked about it. And for
y'all thought I was a Satanist.
Hey, truth be told, now
we're all Satanists in this vice versa world we live in. Where Donald Trump is God. If you're not a Satanist in the Donald Trump America where Donald Trump is God, then you too should go to that new heaven, which is hot as hell.
Come on, Pastor Troy, DSGP.
We didn't know that was the song that we needed for 2024. So for the rest of the year, it's the only rap song I'm listening to, and also GNX.
You know, my only other here's my only other I'll say that for another day, but I'll say this. What if I told y'all I had a scientifically verifiable definition of God?
Go ahead, brother. Because here's the thing. You know what I would say as a person who loves science? I believe you. You want to know why? Because science is the what? The study of living things. God is not living. God is extra life. God is above life. So science can't prove
a 21-year-old earthly
Let's go, dude. I want to hear that definition.
A 21-year-old earthly kid is a proof.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't do it live on air with you guys just yet. I'm not released to do that, but I will do it in private with you guys.
I'm definitely gonna sit still and hear it because that to me is amazing, and also it gives me the space to stop quoting St. Augustine from way back. It gives me the ability to quote a black bald-headed.
Can I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my assumption of what makes God real is that a black person could have literally 2% of black in them and be European, Asian, and anything, but they gonna have the blackest ass accent. No matter like if they if they're from overseas and they move over here, they're gonna know all of our shit. Like don't get me wrong, I ain't sitting up here saying that Black American ain't Black American, but what I'm saying is like black juice is strong with a C.
With a T and a C, strong. But no, listen, and I'm sorry, Ty, I shouldn't have floated that to the audience. It's not really fair.
Yeah, man.
But it's coming. It's coming a little faster than I anticipated. It's coming up here real quick. That's why I floated with you guys. I'll share it with you guys. If not, this week, next week.
Hey, hold on.
I want to hear it because I bet you gotta include. Hold on, Marcus, because it better include the fact that science tells us you cannot create organization out of chaos. So when people say that the Big Bang Theory happened and it created this organized universe, it is impossible because the science says you cannot create organization out of chaos. And because everything stays in order, listen, I'm with you, bro. Listen, I'm with you. I can't wait to hear it.
All I would say is that the uncaused cause is what you're referring to. The uncaused cause is a mathematical principle as much as anything else.
Okay.
Should have bought a Hyundai, but I splurged and bought a Bentley. That's when I
hold on. If you can speak in tongues, I can speak in tongues too. EKOC. That's only Coke spelled backwards. EKOGC. That's only college spelled backwards. So if you've never been to a black church, I just gave you the hints.
So folks who are following us on the
you can say a famous black people name. He is Julius Alba. There you go. I got
you. So folks who are following us on this ClickBaity Political Thirst Trap page, not the Ben Dixon page, which probably is like 2 or 3, but we used to be up there real high, and we'll bring y'all back. Y'all come back. I just want to point out something. Y'all notice how our mascot has leveled the fuck up?
Wait, am I the mascot?
I mean, you know you are the reason we became sports.
I do. I do remember the. I remember
the second question. Suits have a V cut in them now. Head is extra shiny.
Hold on, Marcus.
And if you don't notice, that's what they call houndstooth. So
hold on, Marcus. Stop.
You saw the cut.
you missed the level up that I was saying. My brother has figured out how to put his microphone there and make it invisible. It matches the background. That's next level, dog.
That is next level.
All y'all doing podcasts about to get on our mascot level.
Hold on. When he started to teach us how to do our because I'm going to give Ben props. Ben taught us how to do podcasting in the correct way. He gave us the microphones that we needed. He gave us the lights that we needed. He gave us and so don't get it twisted. Benjamin Dixon is a professional, but he stopped there. Then we kind of fell off, and now he got gingham everything.
Hey man, look, you
Yeah,
know.
Before you speak, I want to talk about the evolution that Marcus is talking about. I almost call you Michael. Listen, I want y'all to see this. Ben told us we needed these.
Oh yeah.
But then he said you needed these.
Yeah.
Then he said,
Yeah, that's what I got.
He said you needed these.
Yep.
Then he said you needed these.
Yep.
Hold on, I ain't finished. I'm showing you. I'm showing you what you did. Then he said you needed these.
Yep.
all of this equipment came from what Ben said we had to have to be professional. I appreciate that, brother.
And it looked right, don't it?
It does.
Y'all been looking right. We look right ever since, though. So, you know. Hey man, I appreciate it, boys.
It's 10:47.
Yeah.
I need to give my wife some time. I love y'all.
Yeah.
But before I give my wife some time, I need to let people know that people on Twitter require me to explain why they should leave TYT. So I'm gonna hold a quick space to explain my point. So if you want to hear me talk crazy on, I'm going to Twitter space. If y'all got a few minutes, I ain't gonna be up there long.
I'll be on. But so this is our show before Mondale goes and like burns down TYT. Listen, thank you very much for watching ClickBaity Political Thirst Trap. It was a very big blessing to have Mondale on tonight. I want to let y'all know it's their anniversary. It's him and his wife's anniversary. And I think his wife knows where I stay, so I'm a little scared that I took him away all night long. But listen, Ben Dixon, Mondale Robinson, Marcus Farrell, I'm going to end it because Mondale got some other things to do.
Let's go take care.
Yeah, take care. Love you guys. Peace out.
See y'all next week.
And before y'all hang up, because Marcus always do the best outros, that's why we just de facto let him do it. But before we go, remind y'all that ClickBaity is a weekly show.
That's right.
Tuesdays. I saw somebody calling for Ben Dixon when I said we leave TYT. Ben, they call for you to do daily content. So, but TYT, Ben has a big plate and many things on it. Not to mention he's a husband, a preacher, and also a dad. And also a black dad. So we do this show once every. This is it. We are here. TYT has its place, and we'll talk about that on the next space. But ClickBaity is back, y'all.
Y'all come on over there to Twitter to this space and hear this man talk. All right, I'm gonna follow you there. Send us that link in the chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna come too.
Ending the stream now. See y'all next week, everybody.
Peace out.